The 1998 New York Yankees steamrolled past everyone in the American League, setting a then record of 114 regular season victories and finishing 22 games ahead of the Red Sox in the AL East. Hello, I'm John Sterling, and welcome to another edition of Yankees Classics. As the Yankees began the postseason run, they received news Darryl Strawberry was diagnosed with colon cancer and would have to have surgery. The rally cry became, to win it all for Darryl. The 1998 Yanks swept past the Rangers in the divisional series and then avenged their 1997 postseason elimination, rolling past the Indians in the ALCS for their 35th American League pennant. After such a stirring season, nothing short of a World Series win over the San Diego Padres would satisfy the Yankees and their fans. The Padres had won 98 games and were making just their second appearance in the Fall Classic. San Diego featured future Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, whose .321 average was his 16th consecutive 300 season. Their ace, Kevin Brown, won 18 games with a 2.38 earned run average and was ready to derail the Yankees in Game 1. The Yanks headliners were center fielder Bernie Williams, who won the American League batting crown with a .339 average, and New York's Game 1 starter, the big game lefty David Wells. Wells also won 18 games, but had forever placed his name in the record books with baseball's 14th perfect game back in May. The 1998 World Series opened at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where Michael Kay joined me for the call.
Wells is ready. Silvio Veras is ready. Ready behind the microphone with the play-by-play. John Sterling, and a good evening, John.
Michael, good evening to you. As Silvio Veras digs in, a switch hitter batting right, and the 1998 World Series is underway as David Wells deals high 1-0. And the flash bulbs go off at Yankee Stadium. It looked like a laser show. Veras, very good offensive player, steals bases. I think he stole in the 20s this year for the Padres. And he hit .267, 6 homers, 45 RBIs. The 1-0 is high, and the count 2-0. Veras in the playoffs is 8 for 39, no homers and 2 RBIs. A lot of numbers we give you. We'll dissipate those numbers in the first couple of innings, give you a little background on the Padre players. A very good leadoff hitter, a switch hitter, Veras, and the 2-0 is in there for a strike. Wells, as you know, has been a truly fabulous pitcher for the Yanks. 18-4 with the perfect game and 3-0 in the playoffs. His ERA in the playoffs, by the way, 1.90. Wells has met and defeated all comers. The 2-1, cut on a miss. Ironically, Wells, who has the best control of any starting pitcher, with an average of about 1.2 walks per 9 innings, threw that one out of the strike zone. But Veras cut on it. Now the crowd is rising at Yankee Stadium, as you hear. That'll be a 2-2 to Veras, and the pitch high, and the count 3-2, so Wells goes full count. When the playoffs opened up here at the stadium, Yankees in Texas, the first batter up was Mark McLemore, a second baseman, a switch hitter batting right, and Wells walked him. That's the only walk in that game against Texas. It'll be a 3-2 to Veras, and Wells deals, pop fouled away. So a very good bat for Silvio Veras. Tony Gwynn is on deck, and then Greg Vaughn, the big power guy. Yankees play Veras straight away, shallow in left and center, a little deeper in right, oddly enough, because Veras here is batting right-handed, a switch hitter against Wells. Now David in the 1, the 3-2, foul straight back on a fastball. And Veras is giving Wells, Mike, a very tough leadoff at bat.
And what you want to do when you keep fouling back pitches like that is hope that, well, Wells finally throws one out of the zone or makes a mistake and gets so frustrated, throws one right over the plate that you can drive.
Bernie Williams in center field moves a couple of steps toward right center. Now again, Wells to the line for the 3-2. It's high outside, ball 4. Veras is on, and Wells walks the first batter. That's why you can't predict baseball. And this guy walked on the average of a little over one man per 9 innings. So Veras gets a leadoff walk. Wells thought it was a strike, and indeed it had all the qualifications, maybe up a little bit. Well, here is one of the game's great hitters, Tony Gwynn, who this year had an off year, and he hit .321 with 16 homers and 69 RBIs. He has been a National League bat champion as many times almost anyone this side of Stan Musial. Left-hand hitter hits the ball to all fields and takes a strike in the count 0-1.
Tony Gwynn had never been to Yankee Stadium, and he said he couldn't wait to hear Bob Shepard announce his name. So Bob Shepard did a nice thing today. He went down to the field, introduced himself to Tony Gwynn, and he went over actually some of the names on the Padres for pronunciation purposes, so Gwynn got to hear it in person.
Veras had 24 steals in 33 attempts. He runs more than any other Padre. And that'll be an 0-1. Wells goes to first base. Gwynn has had a very poor offseason, 9 for 41, no homers and 4 RBIs. He is injured. He has a leg muscle pull. But Gwynn isn't buying that as an excuse. And here's a guy who wins batting championships the way most people buy coffee. And he said about his postseason inning, I stink. But he doesn't at all. He'll be in the middle of every Padre rally. Wells holds the set. Now the 0-1. Breaking ball is high, and the count 1-1. You know, Mike, it could be as simple as this. Wells may be a little too pumped up.
That happens sometimes. You've got so much adrenaline going, and you're throwing harder than you usually do, so your release point is a little bit different. You're muscling up. The ball is riding in the zone. That might have something to do with it. But I think, John, in his 3 postseason starts, he walked the first batter twice, and he gave up a home run to Lofton on a 3-1 pitch.
Right. That's right. He did walk McLemore and walk someone else. You're right. The 1-1. Runner goes. Swung on line to left field. It is a base hit, a hit-and-run hit. Veras around second, but he holds on. So a great start for the Padres. Jeter went to cover, and Gwynn hit the ball where Jeter was. A beautiful hit-and-run single, and now the Padres have a rally in the making. 2 on and no one out. And here's the power of the Padres' Greg Vaughn, who after 2 miserable years with a bad shoulder, traded once to the Yankees. The trade rescinded when he couldn't pass the physical. Vaughn had the year of his life. He hit .272 with 50 home runs. That's right, 5-0. It is 50th on the last day of the year. And 119 RBIs. 7 for 33 in the playoffs, a home run and an RBI. From Sacramento, California, former Milwaukee Brewer. If you get the ground ball, you can turn 2. Runners lead. Wells at the belt. Now deals. The pitch cut on him.
John, the pitch to Gwynn was a great curveball, low and away, and Gwynn just kept his eye on the ball, head down, and actually took it almost off the dirt and lined it right to where Jeter would have been if they weren't running Veras. So a good start. Bochy starting the runners.
First and second, no one out. It'll be an 0-1 to Vaughn with switch hitting Ken Caminiti on deck. Knobloch trying to hold Veras at second. The pitch is a strike. Fastball inside corner. Now there's the cut fastball by Wells. And he hopes with that to produce a ground ball. It'll be an 0-2. Veras leads off second, and Gwynn leads off first with no one out. Now the stretch. And the 0-2 just missed. Cutter inside. And the count 1-2.
You know, it's funny how things work, John. You said that Vaughn failed the physical when the Yankees tried to trade Kenny Rogers to get Vaughn. Well, if they had gotten Vaughn, they wouldn't have gotten Brocious.
Oh, it's true. And Oakland wouldn't have had Rogers, who had a great year, and San Diego wouldn't have Vaughn, who had 50 home runs. My goodness. It'll be a 1-2 to Vaughn. The runners lead, and there goes Veras to third. The pitch is hit on the ground to second. Knobloch fields, steps on the bag, throws to first, double play. So Knobloch, trying to hold Veras close, was right near second to get a ground ball that should have been a base hit right up the middle. And Knobloch caught it, stepped on the bag, and threw to first for an easy double play. And there's Veras at third, but now at 2 out. And Wells actually gets out of trouble if he gets Caminiti.
Caminiti is a very tough hitter, a switch hitter. He had .252, 29 home runs and 82 runs batted in. He's one of 4 free agents on this Padre team. He might not be back. He might cost too much money for them to keep. They've got to keep some of their guys. They'd like to keep Kevin Brown. So Caminiti, you know, performing a little bit of a showcase for people that might want him.
The pitch, curveball high, 1-0. Caminiti is a switch hitter. He probably is a little bit better lefty hitter, or maybe more power from the left side. In the playoffs, 8 for 36, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. He's an outstanding third baseman with the best arm you'll ever see. A guy who regularly makes the highlight reels with diving stops and long throws. And a cleanup hitter, has authentic power. The 1-0. Caught on a miss. There's the change by Wells. Beautiful changeup, and Caminiti was way ahead. And on deck, old friend Jimmy Leyritz, who will get a great hand when he is announced if he gets up this inning. Veras at third with 2 out. On the 4-4-3 double play, Wells gets close to getting out of major trouble in the first. It'll be a 1-1 to Caminiti. Caught on a miss. Fastball low and away. The sinking fastball. And the count 1-2. That double play, Mike, I think is a big one because you don't want to get behind Kevin Brown.
Absolutely. You want to keep it right where it is. And that's a lot of pressure on the pitcher. And it looked like a base hit, but because Knobloch was checking back Veras, as you said, he's right there. And I also think, John, that it energized Wells, made him feel a lot better about things.
Well, Wells is a strike away from getting out of trouble without a run. Veras off third. It'll be a 1-2 to Caminiti. The pitch swung on and foul, first base side, out of play in the third deck. One thing I'll say about the crowd, Mike, I bet you feel the same way. Sometimes you feel that a World Series crowd are people who have special interests and buy the big ticket for the big games, and therefore they're not going to root like fans. Not this crowd.
I think the special interest is the Yankees.
This is a Yankee crowd, and this crowd is going bananas here on the top of the first. The ballpark could not look better. The evening could not be better. And we are set for a show. It'll be a 1-2. Hit on the ground, foul outside of first. Caminiti broke his bat. Coaching at first base is the ex-Dodger great second baseman and manager in waiting, Davey Lopes. Not here because Bochy is going to keep this job for a long time, but somewhere Davey Lopes is ready. Coaching at third is the old Padre second and third baseman, Tim Flannery. Pitching coach, a name very familiar to American League Baseball fans, the great Dave Stewart. It'll be a 1-2. They play Caminiti straight away. And O'Neill very deep in right field, the off field. Veras off third. Wells is set at the chest. It'll be a 1-2. And the pitch. He struck him out swinging. A cutter in. So Wells works in and out of trouble. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of a half, San Diego nothing, and the Yankees coming about. We go to the bottom of the first inning, and here is Chuck Knobloch to lead off against Kevin Brown. Yankees know all about Brown. 12-3 lifetime against the Yanks. Pitching for Texas and Baltimore. Tall right-hander from Georgia Tech. From Macon, Georgia. And the right-hander deals, and there's a strike. Brown throws, in his American League days, basically a sinking fastball. But the difference with Brown and other sinker balls, he throws so hard. But he now also throws the four-seam fastball upstairs and throws a splitter. And the word used about Kevin Brown, nasty. The 0-1 fastball missed inside, and the count 1-1. Most sinker slider pitchers, Charles Nagy, Ramiro Mendoza, throw pretty hard. Brown, he throws as hard as anyone. He is an outstanding pitcher. The 1-1. Knobloch takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count 1-2. Basically, Brown throws hard, low, and throws what they call a heavy ball.
He's one of those guys, John, that he could tell you, all right, here comes the sinker, and you still might not hit it. He's got nasty stuff, and he's also really not a pleasant person. He's probably just as nasty as the stuff.
He is a competitor, though. 18-7 with an ERA of 2.38. The pitch is low. The count 2-2. Kind of slings the ball. And in the playoffs, 2-1. The one was the loss in relief and an ERA 1.44. Well, he's a top flight pitcher. The Yankees have had, like most people, very little success against Kevin Brown over the years. He pitched against the Yanks from 89 to 95. The 2-2 swung on and blooped to shallow left. Out goes the shortstop Gomez to make the catch. And there's one away. So Knobloch 6 for 36 in the playoffs popped out. And here's Derek Jeter, who's only 6 for 34. Now, Jeter has never faced Brown because Brown went to the National League in '96 when Jeter joined the Yanks.
You know, Brown actually became a better pitcher this year, John. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball coming into this year, but he hooked up with Dave Stewart, the new pitching coach for the Padres, and Stewart actually taught him the splitter. I mean, he had a sinker that went down, but now he has a splitter that doesn't have the gradual decline. It has the precipitous decline, and that's almost impossible to hit.
The pitch to Jeter is a strike on the outside of the knees. With Kevin Brown, the best plan, if there is such a thing, is to go the opposite way and also try to make him get the ball up, which is tough if they're calling strikes down. It'll be an 0-1 to Jeter. That pitch is low. Tough on righties, too, because he kind of turns his back to right-hand hitters, then comes around and slings it. And if you're a right-hand hitter, it's tough to hang in there.
Arguably, John, he'll probably be the most hotly pursued free agent pitcher. It'll be Brown, then Randy Johnson, then a level below that would be Al Leiter. So Brown will probably make $11 to $12 million a year. He might get Pedro Martinez type of money.
That'll be a 1-1. Cut on it, missed, and the count 1-2.
Padres got him in the Marlins fire sale, and the Padres said, hey, we'll take the $4.5 million contract because we have to win this year. And now they would really like to keep him, but they will not be able to pay him the most money. They're hoping that his experience in San Diego will make him want to stay. They'll probably get up to about $11 million a year.
The 1-2 is bounced to second. Veras fields. The short flip to Joyner is in time, and they're 2 away. Caminiti at third.
Number 21, Paul O'Neill. Right field.
Chris Gomez at short.
21.
Veras at second and Joyner at first. Caminiti and Joyner are outstanding fielders. Greg Vaughn, a very average fielder in left. Finley in center. Gwynn in right. Are very good, and so is the catcher Carlos Hernandez. Here's Paul O'Neill. O'Neill, 11 for 36, 2 homers, 4 RBIs in the playoffs. A left-hand hitter against Brown. The pitch, strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. The Yankees, though, have not fared badly against the great pitchers in baseball. They beat Maddox, Greg Maddox, this year when the Yanks played Atlanta. The 0-1 inside. And they were 2-1 against Roger Clemens and 2-1 against Pedro Martinez. And Clemens and Martinez are certainly as good as Kevin Brown. It'll be a 1-1. Of course, if you're going to beat a good pitcher, you need good pitching. The pitch is hit on the ground to short. Gomez fields and throws to first in time, and Brown has a very easy 1-2-3. At the end of 1 inning of play, and the first game of the 1998 World Series was scoreless. Well, we go to the top of the second inning, and we're joined by a truly great Yankee, both player and broadcaster. Now, his first World Series at shortstop, 1941 Yankees and Dodgers. Remember that day?
Do I remember? I didn't sleep for a week before that or a week after. I mean, you talk about excitement.
And that was a great World Series featuring one of baseball's great players. Jim Leyritz leads off the second, and David Wells deals low. Here is the scooter, Phil Rizzuto.
You know, John, Bill Dickey said if you don't get nervous before a game, you're not a good athlete.
Really?
You know, a lot of these athletes try to say, I heard Bernie Williams say, I couldn't believe what he said.
The 1-0 to Leyritz is low on the count, 2-0.
He said, well, we put our pants one leg at a time, which I hate that statement anyway. And then he says, we go to sleep, we get up, we eat, we drink, we cry. He said, there's nothing different.
That'll be
can't believe it.
The 2-0 from well caught on and missed by Leyritz in the count 2-1. Is it in your mind clearly the famous strike, third strike missed by Hugh Casey, which started the Yankee rally?
Poor Mickey Owen. You know what happened in those days in Dodger Stadium at the end of the game? If you didn't have all your gloves, somebody hold them.
2-1 strike.
They'd be gone, you know, because I was born in Brooklyn and I know how to do it. I used to do it myself when I was a kid. The game's over, you run in the dugout and you see a glove, you grab it. But I wasn't due to hit that inning, and Tommy and Henrik, they all gave me their gloves. So when Tommy struck out, I started for the dugout and I saw Mickey Owen running for the ball.
The 2-2 is nubbed toward first. Tino Fields goes to the bag, one away. Leyritz grounds out.
Anyway, that's why I'll never forget it, because I had everybody's glove, and then after that, they kept hitting the wall, DiMaggio and Keller and Dickey, and we were lucky to win the game. But all the games with the Dodgers were great. I mean, because I lived in Brooklyn, you know.
Well, look, I mean, that was your first year a World Series, and then 47 and 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. I mean, wow, was that something?
Unbelievable. You got to be lucky. That's why Jeter's going to have the same kind of. Well, he's a great ball player, and I wasn't. But he's had
stop it.
no, wait a
Hall of
minute.
Famer.
Yes, but he in 3 years he's had 2 World Series and an All-Star game, and I guess he's got to look forward to.
Wally Joyner's hitter, a left-hand hitter. He takes a strike.
Well, you were as good looking as he was back then. I mean, you're still pretty good looking, but.
Listen, when I was young, Al Pacino would have been in trouble if I went to Hollywood. I'm telling you.
Because he hadn't been born yet. It'll be an 0-1 to Joyner.
Oh, what a low blow.
Hey, by the way,
Well, yes.
you ought to go in another booth. I mean, there's your old buddy.
I know it, Coleman.
Your former Keystone partner, Jerry Coleman.
I couldn't believe it. But Cora recognized him right away. I didn't even recognize him. Because when last time I saw him, he didn't have gray hair. Hey, but how about that Tony Bennett? Did he do a job?
Oh, is that great?
I feel sorry for Robert Merrill.
The 0-2. Caught on a miss.
Right.
Joyner strikes
Holy
out.
cow.
Of all your World Series, which is the one that stands out the most? The one that you get warm thinking about?
Well, I don't get too warm about my first one. I mean, I was more excited then, but I only got 2 hits in the whole series.
Right.
I was just happy that the kids in the neighborhood, that we won the series, because they, the kids betting dimes and 50-cent pieces. But the one I got the biggest kick out of was in 1950. No, I take that back.
Steve Finley takes a breaking ball, though.
See, I tell you how time, especially when you get my age, you forget 10 years at a time, not just 1 year. Actually, well, no, 42 was a great year. I was I won the Babe Ruth Award, Babe Ruth Award. I'll forget it.
The 1-0 is high. Well, you won so many awards, of course you get confused.
I did win a lot of awards, but not
The Hickok Award?
Yeah,
That's
the Hickok,
it.
yes.
Right.
But that had nothing to do with what I was trying to say about what year was the best World Series I ever had.
In 1950.
No, it was.
Wells deals. Finley
No, wait
takes
minute.
a strike.
It was 1947. At they had at that time, you were the most valuable player. You didn't get a car.
Right.
You got a clock.
So you got the clock
I
still?
got the clock.
You still have it?
Still got it.
Still runs?
Doesn't work, no. But a beautiful clock.
It'll be a 2-1 to Finley. A left-hand hitter. Wells deals. Swung on. Pop foul. Out of play. Third base side.
You know what I miss about being here, not listening to you guys on the air?
Well, thank you.
I mean, no, really, you two guys really got it all together. And I mean, your styles are so little bit different, but yet it blends so well. And
Thank
the timing, you never get on each other, step on each other's toes. I wish I had Cora down here. She loves it when you guys get together.
It'll be a 2-2 from Wells. Swung on and lined toward the gap in right center field. That is going to be a base hit. One hop off the right center field wall. Finley goes to second with a double. Bernie fires back in. So Finley got a pitch up, and he really clocked it. One hop off the wall in deep right center field.
That was the first one, looked like it didn't have the mustard on that Wells usually has on it.
Have you heard anything about Joe DiMaggio, Phil?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not good news, but they said that, because you remember when he was here on his day, he looked terrible. He had a terrible trip. He only had 2 hours sleep, and he went doing all these things, and then they put him in a hospital that next Monday, and nobody knew about it until it came out that somebody heard about it and put it in the paper, and he had pneumonia. They said he had walking pneumonia for 2 months before he went in the hospital. So
but here's the right-hand hitting catcher, Carlos Hernandez. Finley at second with 2 out on the 2-out double, and Wells has to pitch out of trouble again. He deals, and Hernandez lifts a high fly to right. O'Neill is there in mid-right toward the line of step, and he makes the catch. And again, Wells pitches out of trouble. Scooter, we thank you as always.
Thank you.
We love you.
I love you guys too, and I got to get out of here. I'm too nervous here.
Okay, one thing though.
What?
If you ever want to come in as the third man in the booth all game, you're welcome.
Yeah, anything to get between me
you
and
two guys, you come out with the big words and you come out with your sayings, and I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's great.
And neither does anyone listening to us. No runs on 1 hit and 1 left at the end of an inning and a half. The Padres nothing, the Yankees nothing. Well, we go to the bottom of the second inning. Bernie Williams will lead it off. Brown had the easiest first inning, and that's how he pitches, overpowering. Mike, in my first year, I won't name the player because it would be a knock, and I don't want to do that. I could name him. It wouldn't mean anything. Anyway, Brown pitched a game against the Yankees in Texas. First time I'd ever seen him. And he was overwhelming. Now, the Yanks didn't have a good team, of course, and he pitched a 2-hitter, a 3-hitter. Brown deals, and Bernie swings. It's a grounder wide to third. Caminiti fires to first in time, one away. So 1 pitch, 1 out on the ground ball to third. And Brown is doing his thing, getting ground balls. And this Yankee player said to me, I never felt so dominated. I didn't have a chance to hit him. I've never seen anyone throw that way. The ball is so heavy, you can't do anything with it. Well, 1 away. Here's Chili Davis. Brown deals, and that pitch is low on the count, 1-0. Chili is 5 for 20 in the playoffs, a homer, 5 RBIs. Bernie was 8 for 32, no homers and 5 ribbies. Lined off Brown. It rolls in back of the mound. Veras fields, and Davis beats it out as Veras couldn't come up with it. That ball hit Brown maybe in the leg, and San Diego's trainer comes out. Their trainer is Todd Hutchison and Jim Daniel, and that was a bullet by Chili, and it went off Brown's leg. Brown says he's okay. He doesn't want any help, and the home plate umpire, Richie Garcia, gives him a new baseball, and Brown rubs it up. So the Yankees get a base runner, a very slow one at that, and here's Tino. Martinez 5 for 30, no homers or RBI in the playoffs. A pitch outside. That's combined playoffs. Why break it down and drive you crazy with numbers? Suffice to say that no Yankee is red hot. O'Neill and Brocious have probably been their best hitters. A little bit of Chili. Tino has been in a tremendous slump. It isn't the 5 for 30. That's not so bad in playoffs facing good pitching. In fact, he hasn't been able to drive the ball at all. No homers and 1 RBI. 1 on, 1 out, scoreless bottom of the second inning. Kevin Brown is set at the belt. And the 1-0 is a fastball high. By the way, for people who wonder, the scooter is as trim as can be, looks great. And Cora is as beautiful as she was probably 30 or 40 years ago. What a lovely looking woman.
A knockout.
Knockout
she's
is right.
a babe.
Knockout is right. That'll be a 2-0 to Tino. The pitch high with the 4-seamer in the count, 3-0.
How desperate does Tino get out of the slump, John? Standing behind the batting cage, all of a sudden Tino taps me on the shoulder. He says, shake my hand. I said, why? He said, just shake my hand. So I shake his hand. He goes, I need any luck from anybody.
One big hit could do it. Of course, this is a tough pitcher to do it against, but it'll be a 3-0. Let's see if Joe turns him loose. The 3-0 strike. He was not turned loose. That was right down Broadway in the count, 3-1. Tino, though, had a great year, and if he didn't have a great year, maybe the Yankees wouldn't be here. He hit 281, 28 homers, 123 RBIs. But the Yankees have won 7 out of 9. A throw to first. Davis is back. Won 7 out of 9 in the postseason. What it tells you how important pitching is. You hold the other team down, you can win with minimal runs. They play Tino straight away and very deep. The right fielder, Gwynn, is just a few steps away from the warning track in deep right. And Vaughn, the left fielder, is deep. And Tino does hit the opposite way a lot. That's why they're straight away. And Chili Davis takes his lead. Brown at the belt. It'll be a 3-1. The pitch, high, ball 4. Kept throwing fastballs up, and Tino laid off. Now the Yankees have a mini rally, 2 on and 1 out. Here is Scott Brocious elevated to the 7th spot.
And John, Brocious has the best numbers against Brown lifetime. 9 hits in 22 at-bats, 409. And you know what he says is his secret to hitting Brown? He says it's the KISS method, which is keep it simple, Stu. But he said see the ball and hit the ball. Don't try to do too much. He said just hit it where it's pitched. And so far he's been very successful. Not many batters are 9 for 22 against Kevin Brown.
No, not at all. Certainly no Yankee batter. Davis off second and Tino off first. And here's Brocious, and the pitch is low outside, 1-0. Well, Brocious has been just great. I mean, 300, 19 homers, 98 RBIs in the regular season. In the playoffs, he's 10 for 30. 2 homers and 9 RBIs. 10 hits and 9 RBIs in the playoffs. Now that's pretty good. And that'll be a 1-0 to Brocious. Strike. Good fastball on the inside. Brown throws hard. That's some combination. To make the ball sink that much and to throw that hard. What a combination. As they say, tough to hit ground balls for home runs. Brown gives up very few homers. That's why the 3-run homer by Michael Tucker shocked everyone. The 1-1 swung on and dribbled toward third, but off Brocious' foot. Foul ball. And the count 1-2, and Brocious walks off that barking dog. And there's the 1-2, low sinker, and the count 2-2. You know, you've heard this term, heavy sinker. It's what Kevin Brown throws, as the ball moves and he throws so darn hard. Yankees have their 2 slowest base runners on, Chili Davis at second and Tino at first. There's 1 out. It'll be a 2-2. He struck him out swinging. A bad hack by Brocious. A heavy sinker that went down and away. Maybe it was a splitter. It's almost impossible to tell the difference. He throws so hard, but whatever it was, Brocious took a very weak hack at a ball that went straight down.
He was very late, John. You know what it looked like? He started to swing, identified, I think it was a splitter because the drop was very precipitous, and then he tried to hold up and said, nah, I'm already through, and then just waved weakly. Actually, it looked like he waved late, but he didn't wave late. He was just so fooled by the pitch that he just brought the bat through the zone half-heartedly.
I know guys who are commentators who are big-time hitters, and they can't tell the difference unless there's a certain break to the ball, but the ball goes down anyway. Here's Posada. The pitch low outside, and the count 1-0. That's a great pitch by Kevin Brown. Posada, a switch hitter batting left, is 2 for 13 in the playoffs, a homer and 2 RBIs. It's going to be quite a battle if he gets a base hit to see if Chavis can score with 2 outs from second. It'll be a 1-0 to Posada. Fast strike. That was right through there in the count 1-1. That was not a sinker. That was a 4-seamer. And he throws his 4-seamer at somewhere around 95 miles an hour. Well, if you want a great pitcher, there are a few on the market. As Mike mentioned, Kevin Brown, Randy Johnson, Al Leiter, all 3 guys coming off not good years, great years. It'll be a 1-1 to Posada, and that splitter is in the dirt in the count 2-1. I thought that was a splitter because the ball went down so fast. No matter the nomenclature, whether it's sinker or splitter, his ball goes down, and I mean, you have to hit that ball off the ground. That's what gets so many ground balls. What you have to do really is lay off it. It'll be a 2-1. Runners lead. The pitch low, the count 3-1. And you know the Yankees are starting to show that patience, Mike, that has earmarked their ability to score runs. They led the major leagues in runs scored.
You know, Gerald Williams was telling a friend of his, John, that the Braves' approach to Brown, although it wasn't that great, was, you know, why hack early in the count? Give him a chance to get behind in the count, and then maybe get a pitch up in the zone.
That'll be a 3-1. Runners lead. Pitch swung on a high pop-up. Foul territory off third. Hernandez comes right to the edge of the dugout, and the ball goes over the dugout, and Hernandez had to be helped by his mates as he almost fell into the dugout. Now, doesn't make it's going to be any easier for Posada to hit, but Mike, this gives the Yankees a break because now Davis runs, and along with Martinez, 3-2.
Absolutely. So he's running on the pitch, and if it's a line drive, he's got a chance to score. And otherwise, if he's not running, I don't know if he has a chance to score. I mean, he's just very, very slow. It's got to be something. It's got to be sort of single in the gap, John, where the outfielder has to circle to get it. If it's hit right at the outfielder, I don't think he scores.
There aren't any great arms in the outfield. Vaughn in left has a weak arm. It'll be a 3-2. Runners will go. There they go. Pitch high. Ball 4. So Posada walks. You know, Mike and I kidded with each other off the air during the pregame. For most of the year, the guys sharing left field in DH, Darryl Strawberry,
Number 38.
Chad Curtis, and Tim Raines. Now in the World Series, Chili Davis in the DH, and Ricky Leday ahead of Shane Spencer as well is a left fielder, and here he comes up with the bases loaded.
Pretty amazing, and Joe Torre said left-hander, does a good job in left field. That's pretty much why I gave him the start. And Ricky Leday, like most lefties, John, a low ball hitter.
Bases loaded, pitch, strike at the knees on the outside. Good pitch by Brown, a hittable pitch. That was in the strike zone, the count 0-1. Ricky in about 60 at bats, hit 240 in the regular season. 0-4-5 in the play. Yankees can't get a hit out of left field. It'll be an 0-1 outside, and the count 1-1. The Yankee left fielders, I think, I'll throw a number at you. I think they're a combined 1 for 22 in the playoffs.
And I think the one was by Shane Spencer. I think they're 1 for 22 since the ALCS because Spencer had 2 home runs in the division series.
That'll be a 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 out. Scoreless, bottom of the second pitch. Caught on a missed. And the count 1-2.
I wonder if he got hit in the leg and now it's starting to affect the way he lands and he's pushing off differently. He's 1 for 22, by the way. Or the left fielders are 1 for 22 in the ALCS with 1 RBI. We just got that message from Fox, so they didn't do much damage at all.
That'll be a 1-2 to Leday. The pitch low outside, the count 2-2, and this is the pitch that Brown wants to make it happen on. You don't want to go 3-2 and have to throw a strike. And then you force in a run if you miss. So here's a big pitch for Brown. Bases loaded, 2 out. Bottom of the second, scoreless. Brown at the belt. The 2-2. Low outside, 3-2. Now Kevin Brown has to throw a strike.
You know what's amazing is that Ricky Leday was not even on the roster in the division series. Darryl Strawberry was. And then when Darryl was diagnosed with colon cancer, obviously he couldn't finish the division series. And Ricky Leday was put on the roster for the ALCS. Now he is bases loaded here in the World Series Game 1.
The 3-2. Swung on and line down the right field line. It is a base hit. 1 hop off the wall. Davis scores. Martinez scores. Posada is held at third. It's a double down the right field line. And 2 RBIs for rookie Ricky Leday. And the Yankees take a 2-0 lead.
And he was flying into second base. Line drive right down the right field line. It landed fair. And he slid into second, a pop-up slide. And then like a little kid who just got his first base hit in a Little League game, he jumped up and down at second base, pumping his fist. He could not be happier. You know, John, I think that hit the chalk. And then it kicked right out to Tony Gwynn. He got a double by about an inch. A huge base hit for Ricky Leday.
What a clutch hit for the Yankees. He had a bullet down the line, hooking, and it hit right near the chalk down the line and went into the corner. A 2-run double for Leday. And the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Here's Knobloch. Second and third, 2 out. The pitch low outside. And Mike, that double was caused by Brown having to throw a 3-2 pitch. So he had to make a pitch that was not nasty, and Leday hooked it. And how do you like that Joe Torre, huh? Joe Torre gambles on Leday. And Leday comes through with a 2-run double. And he gives Wells a 2-0 lead.
I really do wonder how much getting hit on the shin has affected Brown because his control has not been there since then. And the Yankees are being very patient, working the count deep, which is what they wanted to do. You heard O'Neill on the pregame. He said, listen, I'm an aggressive hitter. I'm going to hack. He said, but a lot of guys in this lineup like to take pitches and get ahead in the count. And really, you can't have a better situation, John, than the bases loaded, 2 outs. If you have 3 balls on you, you know the pitcher has to come in with a strike.
Absolutely. Well, here's a big at bat because a base hit would make it 4-0. That'll be a 1-0. The pitch, strike at the knees on the inside. That's one of Brown's nasty pitches. A single by Davis and walks to Tino and Posada. And with 2 outs, 3-2, Leday hooked a double down the right field line to score 2. And the Yankees have drawn first blood. It'll be a 1-1 to Knobloch. The pitch swung on and foul back late in the count 1-2. Posada at third. Leday at second. The relay throw came in from Gwynn to Veras, and believe me, Posada wanted to score. He'd have been a dead duck. Lee had taken a step or two around third, and Veras was poised to throw from very shallow right field. It'll be a 1-2 to Knobloch. Now the right-hander is set. And the 1-2 high fastball, and the count 2-2. And the Yankees have done a very good job laying off the four-seamer. First of all, you can't hit it. He throws it doggone hard, and also it's out of the strike zone. You know, Wells threw a pitch that was ball four to Veras that was up, and not up as much as any of Brown's four-seamers. Well, it'll be a 2-2. To Knobloch. Runners lead, second and third. The pitch, high fastball, and the count 3-2. Now, Brown does not have to throw a strike here because he has first base open. The crowd has risen. Every one of them as you look around the stadium. It'll be a 3-2. Posada off third, Leday off second. And here's the payoff pitch. Struck him out swinging. So Knobloch strikes out, and the Yankees settle for 2 runs on 2 hits. The double and 2 ribbies by Leday and 2 left. And now at the end of 2 innings of play, it's 2-0 Yanks.
All good things come to an end.
Well, we go to the top of the third. Yanks have a 2-0 lead. Here is Yankee fan and the first citizen of New York, the mayor, his honor, Rudy Giuliani. And
good evening. What an exciting day in New York City. The first day of the World Series. The whole city was abuzz today.
I might add this, Mr. Mayor. You have produced a beautiful day weather-wise. Chris Gomez takes inside, right-handed hitting shortstop. Yankees know him from the Detroit Tigers in the count 1-0, and Wells has a 2-0 lead.
Terrific beginning. And what a great, great game. And tomorrow is supposed to be even a better day.
And that'll be a 1-0 to Gomez. The pitch, strike. Sammy Sosa threw out the first ball, and you've Sammy had a parade with you.
We had a tremendous parade up the Canyon of Heroes, a great ceremony at City Hall Park. Got us ready for the World Series parade, I hope, in a short while. But he also gave me his bat that hit the 66th home run.
The 1-1 hit on the ground, foul outside of third.
And where is that on display?
That will be on display at City Hall within a day or two.
How many people were at the parade?
I would say it was 6,000.
Wow.
It was a tremendous number at the parade, and then maybe another 5,000 at the ceremony.
And I know you were thrilled like the rest of us, and Phil Rizzuto mentioned it too, and native New Yorker Tony Bennett sang America the Beautiful.
What a rendition of it. Gosh, his voice gets higher and better.
Oh, he's pretty old. That was pretty good.
The 1-2 is grounded foul into the San Diego dugout third base side, so the count holds at 1-2.
All right, what's your San Diego bet?
Well, the mayor of San Diego is right down there. You'll see her in the orange jacket. I'm going to actually meet with her after the game. We're going to have a late dinner together.
No bet made yet?
And if the Yankees win, I'll probably have to pay, so I'm going to be willing to pay. But if San Diego wins, I'll force her to pay.
Wells deals, cut on and looped over short, base hit left field over the jump of Jeter. So Gomez gives San Diego a good start to their third by looping a single over the outstretched glove of Derek at short. And now the top of the order, and Quilvio Veras, who walked his first time.
Now, in San Diego, they have this Proposition C. How's that different than what's going on here in New York?
It's not. I mean, it's essentially the same idea, which is to either approve or disapprove public funding to build a new ballpark for the Padres. And the Padres have indicated if they don't get a new ballpark, they're out of San Diego. They want a downtown ballpark, and they have a plan for one basically when you know San Diego, and I guess you'll see it again in a few days, right by the piers.
Veras has switched to batting right. Gomez does not have a lot of speed, and the fastball's inside to Veras, and the count 1-0.
Now they're saying that will probably pass, right?
Well, it was a little behind. It was like 44-40 about 2 weeks ago. The mayor's sense is that with the excitement over the Padres being in the pennant race and now being in the World Series, that probably things may have changed. They may be able to pass it.
Wells is set. It'll be a 1-0. Gomez with the lead. Tino holds him on. The pitch caught on a miss through the fastball by him. Now, I may be wrong on this. Maybe it's another ballpark. There's so many being built. Isn't that the one that has funded by a hotel tax?
Yes. That would be one in which, well, in part, there's also going to be some borrowing and some financing that goes on. But the core amount of money comes from a hotel tax.
Now, why don't you think that such an initiative would pass in New York and it might pass there?
Well, first of all, we don't need it. We're not an initiative state like California. We can do it without having to have an initiative. And we don't have to add a new tax. We have the commercial rent tax that we can use to fund the stadium. Nobody would have to pay a single penny more in taxes as a result of a new stadium.
A 1-1 from Wells. Swung on and line to right field. O'Neill toward the line, makes the catch, and Gomez hurries back.
Right fielder, Tony Gwynn.
Here's Tony Gwynn, the master left-hand hitter who lined a hit-and-run single to left his first time. Gomez leads. And Wells deals, swung on and foul straight back. Now I know you're proud of New York all the time, but like the song says, autumn in New York. This is the best time of year. The weather is the best. The theater opens up. And
from my childhood, the first 12 years, I don't remember a New York autumn without the World Series. This brings me back to when I used to live in Brooklyn and root for the Yankees. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, this is a big part of it.
And it's exciting to see Tony Gwynn in the World Series.
Yeah, very much so.
The kind of guy that belongs in it.
He's such a class guy and great player. The 0-1 won't be made as Wells throws to first. But Mike and I were mentioning this tonight. This is just the perfect setting. We may be a little provincial or jingoistic, but this is the perfect setting for the World Series.
I'm anxious to find out what the mayor of San Diego and some of the other people from San Diego think of the stadium. I'm with a guest from Buffalo, New York. It's his first time at Yankee Stadium. He's been a Yankee fan all his life, and he's never gotten to the stadium. And he is overwhelmed, and we're in the second inning. He and his wife have never seen anything like this before.
The 0-1 is hammered at first, knocked down by Tino. He steps on the bag for the second out as Gomez goes to second. Tino knocked the ball down. It was hit hard, and if it got past him, it'd go right down the line. So with 2 outs, a runner at second. This is New York Yankees baseball.
When you sit with your son Andrew, as you're doing right now, can you almost see the field through his young eyes like when you were a kid?
Sure. It brings me back to, I wasn't lucky enough to get to World Series when I was a kid. I listened to it on the radio and watched them on television. But yeah, I can see what it does. It develops a lifelong love for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Vaughn, the right-hand power hitter who hit 50 home runs during the season, stands off the plate, bat held high, and the pitch caught on and missed as he threw a sinker away in the count 0-1.
So give us your prediction.
I think in 5.
Okay.
I think this is a team that knows how to get business done, and they may drop one here or there in one of these games, but
see, I don't see you and David Wells being exactly alike, but you came up with the same pick.
Well, he told me this the other day when we had the pep rally. He's a character. He is one terrific character.
That'll be an 0-1 to Vaughn. Wells holds a set and deals. Caught on a miss. Another sinker away. Well, I know Mike and I emceed the perfect game at City Hall.
What a character, right?
And you two got along great.
Yeah, I think he's a great guy.
He hasn't done anything wrong with the key to the city you gave him, right?
I don't ask. Who knows what doors he's unlocked?
Well, he got a key to the city that never sleeps, neither does David. It'll be an 0-2 to Vaughn. Gomez leads off second with 2 out in the third. Wells at the belt. And the 0-2. Lined hard but foul down the left field line. Deep in the seats, and the count remains 0-2. You get a little thrill, Mr. Mayor, when you look at this, look where you're looking at this phenomenal crowd.
Unbelievable. It's a great crowd. Absolutely great. I think it's one of the most exciting in baseball, if not the most exciting. Although I have to tell you, you'll see it in San Diego. They've got a crowd. Terrific excitement. Not like Atlanta. Not that sort of, laid-back crowd that doesn't really cheer. They've got a really lusty, loud, strong hometown rooting section.
You're not going to San Diego?
I don't think I'll be able to do it, but I saw the game, last Saturday, the third game of the series.
You couldn't get tickets to the games?
No, I can't get tickets. They won't let me in San Diego.
Well,
they're afraid I may turn the crowd around.
I know you'll be having your radio on when...
You're darn right I will. To the best announcers in baseball.
Well, boy, you read that great. That's terrific.
You're Andrew's favorites.
Well, that's terrific.
He keeps telling me every time I come up here to tell you that.
It'll be an 0-2 to Vaughn. Chris Gomez leads off second. Wells has been in trouble in every inning. Yanks have a 2-0 lead on a 2-run double by Ricky Leday. Wells holds the set. And now the 0-2 swung on, hit in the air to deep right center field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. A 2-run home run to deep right center field by Vaughn. And the ball game is tied at 2. Wells got a pitch away, but maybe a little up, and Vaughn hit it hard over the 385-foot side. So Vaughn, who always would get a big hit against the Yankees for Milwaukee, now gets a big hit here and ties the game at 2.
Boy, that's a humongous base hit for the Padres. The Yankees put up 2 runs against their ace, and they get 2 runs right back the next inning. 0-2 pitch. Obviously, Wells trying to waste it. He got too much of the outside corner, and Vaughn did a good job, went down and went with it and hit it over the right center field wall.
The pitch to Caminiti is low. It was 0-2. He's trying to sink the ball away, and I think the ball just stayed up enough. It wasn't a terrible pitch, but it was outside but up enough, maybe around the knees, and Vaughn drove it the opposite way, extended the arms, and he is a powerful guy, as evidenced by his 50 home runs. Here's the 1-0 to Caminiti, breaking ball strike.
He could have been a Yankee.
Yeah.
Right?
Very close, but they failed the physical on him. But then again, as we said before, if he'd have been a Yankee, then Scott Brosius would not have been.
It's a very strange thing in baseball, right? Particularly with all the movement that goes on now. And you see Leyritz on the on-deck circle.
The 1-1 caught on a missed fastball by Wells, and the count 1-2.
Now, the Padres are a lot like the Yankees. They will chip away, move the runners, but every now and then they'll get the big home run, and Vaughn is their big home run threat. He comes up with a huge one right there.
I thought that's a big home run, too. That helped Kevin Brown. The 1-2. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Struck him out swinging. Mr. Mayor, we thank you.
Terrific. It's great having you in the World Series and great having it here. Good luck, guys.
Thanks a lot.
We thank you, sir. 2 runs on 2 hits and no one left. And now at the end of 2.5 innings of play, San Diego 2 and the Yankees 2. And there's Derek Jeter to lead off. He swings and misses on an inside fastball, and the count 0-1. We are tied at 2. The Yankees loaded the bases in the second inning. On a base hit by Chili Davis, a couple of walks, and with 2 outs on a 3-2 pitch, Leday doubled down the right field line, and with 2 outs on an 0-2 pitch in the top of the third, Greg Vaughn hit a 2-run home run. There's a strike on the outside, the count 0-2. It'll be Jeter, O'Neill, and Bernie Williams here in the Yankee third. The game tied at 2, 2-4-0 Padres, 2-2-0 Yanks. That was a big home run, Mike, by Vaughn. The 0-2 inside. I mean, it's obvious it was big to tie the game, but also it kind of rejuvenates the Padres.
Oh, absolutely. And they're thinking, wow, they got 2 runs off Brown, and then they get 2 runs right back. Even if they had gotten a run in that inning, John, it would have been a tremendous run for them, but they tie it up with 1 swing. That's very big.
The 1-2 low outside. And the count 2-2 on Jeter. Jeter grounded to second his first time. Padres play Jeter slightly toward right center. The 2-2 is fouled away. Back into the press box and back all the way into the press box. That gives you an idea how hard Kevin Brown is throwing for a ball to reach all the way back. We are very reset just above the mezzanine. It isn't that it's very high, but it is so reset, and still the ball got back here. So the count 2-2. Brown deals. Jeter fouls it straight back again. The count holds at 2-2.
You know, very quietly, Jeter and Knobloch have not set the table for the Yankees. Knobloch in the postseason now 6 for 38, and Jeter, you know, equally as bad. He is 6 for 35, and somehow the Yankees got through the division series and the ALCS. I shouldn't say somehow. They got through because of great pitching, but sooner or later they have to score some runs.
And, of course, they haven't gotten much in the power department as well. Brown deals 2-2 outside and into the dirt, and it bounced back at Hernandez. I'll tell you this, he is a tough guy to catch too. Everything is down. That'll be a 3-2 to Jeter. And Brown staring in. And now into his motion. And the 3-2 swung on and looped to right center field. Down the run is Gwynn. He's there in shallow right center. Makes the catch. And there's one away. So Jeter skies to right, and with one away, here's Paul O'Neill.
A lot of those things really are obscured when you win. And if the Yankees weren't winning, well, obviously the top of the lineup couldn't build up such negative numbers because they'd have gone home a long time ago. But the fact that they've won, you almost overlook the fact that Knobloch and Jeter simply have not set the table. And It's funny they haven't set the table, but the guys in the middle haven't done much anyway. You wonder if they'd see better pitches, though. There were men on base.
Well, that's possible. Brown deals, and the pitch is low, and the count 1-0.
O'Neill is 11 for 37, which is right around 300, which is not exactly what he likes to do. But he's gotten some production, 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in the postseason.
Yeah, the Yankees don't have a guy who's been the big bomber. Brocious has been their best hitter. The 1-0 is low. Now the count 2-0. I'll tell you one thing, Mike. And the Yankees are doing one thing against Kevin Brown. They're not swinging. Brown's a very strong guy because he can pitch on 2 and 3 days rest, but the Yankees are making him throw pitches.
And that's important, John. Even if they don't score much against him, maybe he only becomes a 6-inning pitcher then.
The 2-0 strike. He threw a fastball right down the pipe in the count 2-1.
Well, one thing that Yankee fans should realize, you do not want to go into the late innings with a deficit against this team, specifically the 9th inning, because they're 181-1 since July 24th of 1996.
Now Brown to the 1. The 2-1 swung on and fouled away. Brown threw a fastball right in on O'Neill's hands. And the count 2-2.
Just consider that. They've gone into the 9th inning with a lead 181 times, and they've won the game 181 times. And that's the power of Trevor Hoffman.
It is indeed. And even in one instance this year in the playoffs where Hoffman gave up a run, Atlanta tied the game. The 2-2 swung on and hit in the air to left field down the line. Vaughn toward the line, makes the catch, and there are 2 away. Then Caminiti hit a home run in the 10th, and the Padres won that game. So 2-away. Here is Bernie Williams.
Bernie Williams.
I spoke to Williams yesterday during the media day, and I said, you know, the perception here is that you're not having a good time, and you really do have to wonder whether he is or not. He was not in the clubhouse. John, you were in there with the celebration after the ALCS. He was not on the team plane coming back from Cleveland. He took a commercial flight. He's been somewhat quiet and sullen, and he said, well, I'd be crazy not to enjoy this. Well, that's all great when it's spoken, but it hasn't exactly been lived.
The pitch to Bernie is low in the count 1-0.
And he was asked by a reporter the previous day, you know, is there a problem with you personally? Now, how un-Bernie is this, John? He said, that's none of your business.
Well, of course, it is none of his business, but it is very un-Bernie-like. It'll be a 1-0. Fastball outside 2-0. And really, it's not the postseason. It must be something that is personal.
A lot of people are speculating, John, he's distancing himself from the team so that when he leaves as a free agent, it won't hurt. I don't think that's it at all.
No, I don't think so either. The 2-0 swung on, fouled away. It sounds like trying to find a reason.
Right.
And not having any. In truth, there were so many people, and the celebration was so strong when the Yanks beat the Indians, I didn't realize he wasn't there. And Mike and I sit near each other on the plane, and in the plane we took back had about 90 rows, so I certainly didn't know that Bernie wasn't on that plane. The 2-1 strike at the knees on the outside, the count 2-2. Tomorrow's starters, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, and right-hander Andy Ashby. Allen was a catcher. Andy Ashby of the Pods. It'll be a 2-2 to Bernie. The pitch low outside, and the count 3-2.
I think Richie Garcia is doing a great job behind the plate right now. He's calling a legitimate strike zone for both pitchers. He isn't giving a ridiculously wide one, which we've seen a lot in the playoffs. And he's one of the better umpires in baseball.
Now Brown to the wide. Here's the payoff. He struck him out swinging, pitch up. So Brown has a 1-2-3. We have played 3 innings in game 1, and we're all tied at 2. Well, we go to the 4th, all tied at 2. Here's Jim Leyritz to lead it off. Wells deals, and the breaking ball's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Leyritz grounded out to first his first time. We're tied at 2. Ricky Leday, a 2-run, 2-out double in the second, and Greg Vaughn, a 2-run, 2-out home run in the third. On a perfect night for baseball in New York. Wells 0-1 strike fastball. The count 0-2. When Hernandez pitches tomorrow, Probably lefty John Vanderwall will be the DH. A very good hit. In fact, he's been the National League's best pinch hitter over the years. It'll be an 0-2. Breaking ball low, and the count 1-2.
Boy, Leyritz has been all over town with that black cowboy hat. He said he started the tradition in '96 with the Yankees, and well, now he's got a completely bald head. He looks a little strange in that cowboy hat, but that's not going to stop the king.
Buck Showalter loved that cowboy hat. It'll be a 1-2 to Leyritz. Wells deals. Breaking ball struck him out swinging. Pulled the string on the breaking ball. Leyritz is down 1 away, and here's Wally Joyner.
You know, John, they have a new nickname for Jimmy. He used to be the King and Elvis here with the Yankees. The new nickname with the Padres is now Junior, for Mr. October Jr.
He is an original. That's why I think he's fun. Huh? I kind of march to the beat of my own drummer. Well, Leyritz does too. So 1 away. Here is left-hand hitting Wally Joyner. Wells deals, and the fastball missed outside, and the count 1-0.
For the Padres, at least in the starting lineup, the top hitter has been Carlos Hernandez, 11 for 30. That's 367.
The 1-0. That breaking ball low, and the count 2-0. Joyner, of course, spent years in the American League with the Angels and the Royals. A left-hand line drive hitter, uses the whole ballpark. A very good infielder.
Leyritz is 6 for 24. That's 250, but he does have 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in this postseason for the Pods.
There's the 2-0 from Wells. Fastball check swing foul back. And then the count 2-1.
As for the Yankees, you really don't have to search that hard. Not that many people are hitting. Coming into the game, Broch is 10 for 30, 333. 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. And O'Neill 11 for 36, which was 306. 2 home runs and 4 ribbies. And those are the postseason leaders.
That'll be a 2-1 to Joyner. There's a strike at the knees. Another fastball by Wells, and the count 2-2. Wells has struck out 3, walked 1. Victimized by a pitch away to Vaughn, who drove it over the right center field wall with a runner on last inning. There's the 2-2. Fastball line to left. Leday charging, makes the catch. And they're a 2-way. One reason Leday is playing, he is a good left fielder. And so Joe knows he doesn't lose anything there. If no one's hitting, he might as well have a good defensive player out there. Well, tonight, of course, Leday came up with a big hit of the game for the Yanks, a 2-run double. 2-way here is left-hand hitting Steve Finley, who doubled to right center his first time.
Caminiti, Kevin Brown, Steve Finley, and Wally Joyner all will be free agents at the end of the year. Looks like Joyner will stay, and they'd like to sign Kevin Brown. I don't know if they can.
Breaking ball is grounded weakly to first. Chino Fields steps on the bag, end of inning. Wells has his first 1-2-3. At the end of 3.5, we are tied at 2. But we go to the Yankee fourth, all tied at 2. Here's Chili Davis. Brown deals, cut on him, missed. It was Davis who banged a single up Brown's leg. That began the Yankee 2-run rally in the second inning.
And it shows you about stats, John. Coming into that at bat, Chili was 8 for 47 against Davis. That's 170. Or against Kevin Brown. That's 170.
It'll be an 0-1. Swung on, hit high in the air to center field. Finley is there, now takes a step or two in and makes the easy catch, and there's 1 away.
Now here's Tino, who walked in the second inning, and that's the one thing that we've seen with Tino over the last couple of games of the ALCS and now here in the first game of the World Series. He is actually really working deep into the count. He's identifying pitches. Now, obviously, Tino doesn't hear this broadcast right now. He's on the field. I don't think he's got his Walkman on, John. But I think that this series can decide Tino Martinez's future with the Yankees.
The pitch is a strike. Breaking ball by Brown, and the count 0-1. It's been widely rumored that if Tino has his 3rd straight poor postseason, the Yankees might opt for Mo Vaughn, a free agent. The 0-1 low. Of course, it's so easy to say those things. If you're wrong, what does someone do to you? You're not thrown off the George Washington Bridge. They'd have to trade Tino, who is very tradable. The 1-1 Swung on and hit in the air to deep center. Finley back, away back, and he makes a catch in deep left center field for the second out. The reason he's tradable, he has, for this day and age, a pretty good contract at, let's say $4 million, and he's a tremendous player and a tremendous human being. And the Yankees would have to spend a lot of money on Mo Vaughn, but I guess it's possible.
One thing that the Yankees should really consider, John, okay, let's say he has another bad postseason. You need guys to drive in runs during the regular season as well. He did drive in 120, drove in 144 last year. You can't just say, well, that doesn't count. It does count.
Counts with me. But anyway, there's that rumor, and Mo Vaughn is a heck of a player. Brocious swings and fouls away. And one thing I will say, Mo Vaughn is also supposed to be a terrific guy in the clubhouse. You can't be better than Tino, though. You can be as good, but you can't be better because he's a great teammate.
And, John mentioned something. Tino makes 4.5 next year. If they get Mo Vaughn, that's at least 11. At least.
That'll be an 0-1 to Brocious. Pitch low. They're going to do that. They better sign Bernie because Bernie is more important because he's a center fielder and they already have Tino signed. So it's just a nice rumor or an active rumor. That'll be a 1-1 to Brocious, who struck out his first time. Pitch is low. Now, since Leday's double, Brown has retired 6 in a row. We're tied at 2 in the bottom of the fourth. 2 outs, no one on. The pitch swung on in line. There's a base hit to left center field. Chased down by Finley in the gap. Cuts it off. Brocious trying for second. Here comes the throw. He is out at second base. Out by a lot. And the only way he could have been safe is if Finley had a terrible arm and threw off target. Brocious didn't have a chance. I have no idea where he was going. So Brocious singles. He is out 8-4. No runs, 1 hit. And no one left at the end of 4 innings of play. We're tied at 2.
Finley cut over into left center field, and he bobbled on the turn. I don't know if Brocious saw that, John, but he made a good recovery. He bobbled. He never dropped the ball, grabbed it out of the air. Didn't fire a great strike to Veras, but Brocious was out by so much, Veras had time to go back to the bag and tag.
And there is a strike to Carlos Hernandez, the right-hand hitting catcher. And Brocious tried to make something when nothing was there. As I said, Finley would have had to throw the ball off the base for him to be safe. He was out by a lot. Hernandez fly to right his first time. It'll be an 0-1. Fouled away in the count 0-2. We're tied at 2, and as we go to the 5th inning, the Padres send up their 8th hitter. And when the Yankees come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, they'll send up their 8th hitter. It'll be an 0-2 from Wells. David deals, swung on a high fly to left field, toward the line. Leday in the corner, has room, makes the catch, and there's 1 away.
How about that home run by Myers? I guess it was against Lightenberg. I mean, what a clutch home run. I think it was on a 3-2 pitch, and it pulled the Padres closer, but the Braves ended up holding off because they brought in Maddox.
There's another guy, Greg Myers, who has hit a lot of homers against the Yankees. He's a fastball hitter, and he has lefty home run power. Doesn't play a lot. So 1 away, and here's the shortstop Chris Gomez, who singled to left his first time. Wells deals, caught on a miss. There's the change, and the count 0-1. San Diego's 2 runs. Single by this fella Gomez, a soft single, a looper over Jeter's head, and 2 outs later, Greg Vaughn hit a 2-run home run to right center field. The 0-1 is low in the dirt and back to the screen. Yankee 2 runs. They fill the bases on a single by Davis off the leg of Brown, and 2 walks. And then with 2 outs on a 3-2 pitch, Ricky Leday lined a double down the right field line. So that's where we are, and we're all even. The Yankees 2 in the 2nd. The Padres tied it in the 3rd, and here we are 2-2 in the 5th. The 1-1 strike on the inside corner to Gomez, and the count 0-2. Gomez came to the major leagues with the Tigers and involved a trade to San Diego a couple years ago. Here's the 1-2. It's inside. And the count 1-2.
That was the deal with John Flaherty, and the Tigers sent over Andujar Cedeno, Brad Ausmus, and Russ Spear. Should I say the Padres sent them to Detroit.
Now Wells to the wind. The 2-2. A high pop-up around short. Jeter on the outfield grass is there and makes the catch. And they're two-way. And there's the pitch to Veras, breaking ball strike. They have a third baseman out of the Angels organization, George Arias, who they think is ready to play third. It's tough to take Caminiti's place. He has power and he's a switch hitter. And a superb defensive player, but depends if you can afford him or not. The 0-1 pitch low and the count 1-1.
They have a very, very wealthy owner, John Moores, who's a billionaire. And he claims that he's lost $80 million over the last 4 years with the Padres. Again, who knows? We don't read the books, and we tend not to believe statements like that. But that's what he says.
The 1-1. Veras cuts and misses. They drew their all-time attendance record this year, as the Yankees did. But they all want the new ballpark. That'll be a 1-2 to Veras. The pitch is swung on and looped to center field. That's going to dunk in for a base hit in front of Bernie, who fields on a hop. Veras turns first, holds on. And with 2 outs, the Padres have a base runner, and here is Tony Gwynn. Not hit hard, but hitting the right spot.
Right fielder.
A soft looping line drive. So Veras is on with 2 outs, and he has been a good leadoff man on 2 out of 3 times.
Gwynn, the only Padre on this team, John, that was on the 1984 World Series team. That team lost to the Tigers in 5 games.
Wells is set. And he deals. Gwynn hits one deep to right. It is high. It is far. It is gone off the facing of the third deck. He hit a fastball and hit the tar out of it off the facing of the third deck and right. It is a 2-run home run for Tony Gwynn. And now the Padres take a 4-2 lead.
Well, that's his first home run of the postseason this year. And John, he tomahawked the ball, and he hit it off the advertising sign, which is off the facing of the upper deck right down the line. I don't know how he got through that so quickly. There was a fastball up in his eyes, and he jumped on it and just drove it deep to right field against the facing of the upper deck.
So 2 2-run home runs by the Padres, one by Greg Vaughn, who's up now. That was in the third, and one by Tony Gwynn in the 5th, and San Diego has a 4-2 lead. Wells deals. Vaughn swings. There it goes to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A home run for Vaughn. He hit a shot 15 or 20 rows deep in the lower seats in left. And San Diego now takes a commanding 5-2 lead on back-to-back home runs by Gwynn and Vaughn. And boy, was that ever hit. That was gone as he swung the bat.
Well, John, that had to be 15 to 20 rows deep in left field. It just missed the facing of the upper deck in left. So it skimmed underneath the facing and then landed deep into the lower stands in left field. What a blast by Vaughn.
Here's Caminiti, and the pitch is high. And the count 1-0. So back-to-back and a belly-to-belly home runs by Gwynn and Vaughn. Tony's a 2-run job, and it is now 5-2 San Diego. What a surprising and quick development. The 1-0. Pitch low. Wells sailing along, looking in good shape, and he gave up a very soft single to Veras. But the last 2 balls have been anything but soft. That was a low fastball that Vaughn hit, and boy, did he hit it. That's the second home run of the game. He has 3 ribbies. The 2-0. Caminiti takes low outside. The count 3-0.
John, the book on Vaughn is soft stuff away, hard stuff in. That was in. It was hard, but it wasn't far enough inside. It was also low, and Vaughn hit that like a lefty would hit a home run. He just dropped the bat head on the ball. He just crushed it. His 3rd home run of the postseason.
Now he had 50 homers during the regular season. The 3-0, a high pop-up. So Bochy turns Caminiti loose, and the pop-up is into the seats behind the Yankee dugout, first base side. The count 3-1. Well, San Diego has taken a 5-2 lead. And they've done it with a home run ball. 3 home runs, good for 5 runs.
That's the 12th set of back-to-back home runs in Major League history in the World Series.
The 3-1 strike on the inside corner, and the count 3-2. Caminiti has been up twice and struck out twice. Now Wells 3-2, a high pop-up in shallow left. Ledet comes in, and Ricky makes a catch, and that ends the inning. But not before 3 runs on 3 hits. The homers by Gwynn and Vaughn at the end of 4.5 innings of play. San Diego 5 and the Yankees 2. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th. Now Kevin Brown has a 3-run lead. He has a 5-2 advantage on the home runs by Gwynn and Vaughn. And the Yankees send up Jorge Posada. And here with the play-by-play, Michael Kay.
Well, thank you, John. Posada walked in the 2nd inning, and the pitch by Brown is a strike on the outside corner. The fastball 0-1. Bottom of the 5th inning means it's time for the Yankee beat writer for the News, Peter Botti. The 0-1. Breaking ball is inside, 1-1. John, the one thing that jumped out at me at the party yesterday is that a lot of people, when they found out, oh, that's Peter Botti, they came up to him and said, boy, Sterling and Kay are all over you in the bottom of the 5th. I don't see that. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and grounded sharply, right side. Moving to his left is Veras. He fields and flips to Joyner, 1 away. I mean, do you sense that we're unfair to Peter?
No, I think we're making him a great star.
Peter, how do you feel?
I think could have been the second biggest star there besides you last night, Mike.
Right. Well, John left a little early, so it would have been him. So what do you think about this? Is this just the one inevitable bad game that Wells was going to have?
Well, I guess it was due to happen. David Wells talked about 5 games on the radio the other day and all the other stuff that firestorms obviously are nothing new to him, but 5 has been the magic number so far for the Padres in a way that has not benefited the Yankees.
Here's the pitch to Ledet. Swung on and missed a sinker. And the count 0-1. Ledet picked up the big hit for the Yankees. Seemed like a huge hit at the time in the 2nd inning. A bases loaded. 3-2, 2-out double down the right field line. And that's the Yankee runs right there. The 0-1 is swung on a line to right field. Another base hit for Ledet. Played on one hop out there by Gwynn. He'll fire the ball into Veras. I know you were part of the beat writer crew that met with Joe Torre before the game. What was his take on Ledet and putting him in the number 9 hole and selecting him out of the group of 4?
Well, he really thought that really none of the other guys have done anything at all in the NLCS, and he was willing to take a chance with Ledet. He's confident in his defense. He thought Ledet might be able to get some good swings as a lefty bat against Brown. He thought maybe he would have a chance to do something. I don't think he expected the 2-hit night that he's had, but Torre's shown some confidence, and he's shown obviously that he's willing to take chances and willing to roll the dice a little. He did it with Spencer early in the playoffs, and now he's doing it with Ledet, and it's working out for him so far.
Ledet's at first with 1 out. Here's Knobloch. Knobloch 0 for 2. Yankees trail 5-2, bottom of the 5th. And the pitch to Knobloch. Swung on line drive. Base hit to right field. Ledet held up. He'll go to second. The ball fielded by Gwynn. Fires it into Chris Gomez. And back-to-back singles by the Yankees bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Derek Jeter.
Peter, let me ask you this. I would imagine that your answer is yes, but you think the Yankees might think next year about going in left field with a platoon of lefty-righty, Ledet and Spencer? I mean, they're playing them in playoff games, so they must think something of them.
I think it's certainly a possibility. Obviously, we've talked a lot about how Bernie Williams' contract situation is going to affect the rest of the payroll, but if they do re-sign Bernie to a big deal, they're going to have to, at some point, cut some corners somewhere, and left field is a situation that might happen. Obviously, third base is another one.
Here's Derek Jeter. Jeter is 0 for 2. Yankees have runners on first and second, 1 out. And the pitch to Jeter. Swung on and chopped over the mound. Charging is Gomez. Fields, fires, and they just got Jeter for the 2nd out of the inning as both runners move up.
That was a very pretty play by Gomez. If he juggles the ball for an instant, Jeter beats that out. They just got Derek, who gets down the line so well. Well, here is one of the big at-bats of the game. And by the way, San Diego had started their bullpen. I don't know if they're going to keep throwing now. They are. So that's surprising that they started the bullpen right away. Well, here's a big at-bat. A base hit would make it 5-4. Yanks have 2 very speedy runners on. Obviously, if Brown dodges the bullet, the Yankees are down by 3. So here's a defining moment in this game.
Peter, before we let you go, what was your prediction for the series?
I predicted Yanks in 6. I'm not going to deviate. I really thought there was a strong chance they could lose tonight with Brown on the mound. I still think the Yankees will prevail in the series. But yeah, it's one of these situations you look tonight, and they're in a hole early, though.
Well, thanks a lot, Peter. Here's Paul O'Neill. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. The pitch, check swing. Did he go? No, said third base umpire Dana DeMuth. And the count 1-0. Joey Hamilton, the right-hander, is warming for the Pods.
And that's the fourth game starter. There's a slider Brown threw, and O'Neill took it as the ball broke down and in.
O'Neill's 0 for 2. He grounded a shorty fly to left. Leday on third. Knobloch is on second with 2 outs. Yankees trail 5-2, bottom of the 5th, game 1 of the series. The 1-0. Low and outside, the count 2-0.
I think the lefty in the bullpen is Mark Langston. It is. So the right-hander Hamilton, the left-hander Langston.
A little strange that they have people warming up in the 5th inning when their horse is on the mound, but that is in fact what's happening here at the stadium. A big, big batter for the Yankees in the person of Paul O'Neill. The 2-0. There's a strike through the 4-seam fastball right down the middle in the count, 2-1. Yankees 2 runs on 5 hits. The Padres 5 runs on 7 hits. This is the first game of the best of 7 World Series, the 94th World Series in the history of the game. The 2-1, outside, 3-1 on deck, Bernie Williams.
Well, you know O'Neill is hitting 3-1. Now we'll see if Brown gives him a hittable pitch.
Leday's on third. Knobloch is on second. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Padres lead the Yankees 5-2. The crowd gets up. Very loud. Brown stares into Hernandez. The 3-1 swung on and chopped slowly towards second. Charging Veras. Fields flips, got him, and that'll do it. The Padres get out of the jam. For the Yankees, no runs, 2 hits, and they leave 2 at the end of 5. Padres 5, the Yankees 2. Jim Leyritz leads off the top of the 6th. He look at a first pitch breaking ball inside, so the count is 1-0. Leyritz is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up foul behind the plate. That'll make the upper deck where it's dropped by a fan, then rolls into the box seats below. The count 1-1. Leyritz started the season with the Red Sox and was traded to the Padres. And he has done a good job for the Padres. 266, 4 home runs, and 18 runs batted in. The 1-1 swung on and fouled off in front of the plate. 1-2. Now this time when he was traded by the Red Sox, it wasn't because he was a problem in the clubhouse. Wasn't because he was getting on Jimmy Williams' nerves. I think he was getting on the nerves of the front office. This time Dan Duquette and John Harrington, so they dealt him to the Padres. He moves around for a guy with some talent. Right-handed batter, closed stance, back foot bent at the knee, front foot is straight, and the 1-2 is fouled back. The count still 1-2.
Well, I think that Jim Leyritz has to get in the right situation, Mike, and he hasn't been there. And if he was in Anaheim now that Todd Green has been hurt and probably won't catch, he probably would do a lot of catching. Then Rodriguez in Texas.
1-2. Swung on and driven deep to right field. Going back is O'Neill. He has room. And on the track, he makes the play for the first out of the inning.
You know, the last at bat showed why Kevin Brown is so good, because he had a 3-1 pitch to O'Neill. Probably it looked like a very good pitch, but the ball sunk, and O'Neill probably hit the very top of the pitch and hit that little bouncer to second. It looks like a heck of a pitch until the ball sinks.
Here's Wally Joyner. He's 0 for 2. Struck out, and he flied out to left. Left-handed batter against the lefty Wells. And the pitch, a fastball strike on the outside corner, 0-1. It is a lovely night here in New York City. It's been a beautiful day, and it's supposed to be even better tomorrow for Game 2 here at the stadium. The 0-1. Fastball outside, 1-1. Yankees in the official uniform of the World Series. The home white pinstripes, the interlocking blue NY on the left chest, blue number on the back. No name. Of course, midnight blue cap with the white interlocking NY on the front. The 1-1 is a weak hat check swing, but he goes through. The count 1-2 on a breaking ball. Yankees have a World Series logo patch on their right sleeve. And that is the only change from the regular season uniform. Wells came sidearm on that pitch. Here's the 1-2. A breaking ball check swing in the dirt and blocked by Posada. The count 2-2. The Padres, road grays. San Diego in print across the chest in blue outlined in white and orange. Number on the back, same color combo. The name on the back, though, just in blue. A blue cap with a white interlocking S and a orange D. 2-2 is sliced foul down the left field line. That'll go into the seats. Count still 2-2. Padre patch on the left sleeve and the World Series patch on the right sleeve. Interlocking SD. Doesn't quite sound right, John. The 2-2. Breaking ball outside, 3-2.
Well, they've come a long way. They used to have some of the ugliest uniforms in history. They once tried some kind of a yellow uniform, kind of a hideous yellow. And then they went to that kind of brown and yellow. Steve Garvey said he looked like a giant taco.
The 3-2, a little bit low on the fastball. So Joyner walks. You know, John, as you know, the Padres are owned by Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. And the brown and the yellow uniforms, they were designed by Ray Kroc's wife, Joan. And you know why she picked brown and yellow? Because that's the color of the cheeseburger.
Well, that's kind of what they look like, too. Garvey said tacos, but...
Here's Steve Finley. He is 1 for 2. He doubled to right center field in the second and grounded out to first. That was in the fourth. Well, the Padres have been around for 30 years, and this is their second World Series appearance. And the pitch to Finley, a little bit outside, 1-0.
And they have been an up and down franchise. Their franchise was at such a nadir at one point. They were about to leave and go to Washington, and then Kroc bought the team, pumped money in it, and they became a good team. Then it went down again, and saved by John Moores, and now they hope to get the new ballpark to stay in San Diego.
The 1-0. Swung and fouled back over the screen. The count 1-1.
You know, we'll tell you about the ballpark when we're there, but it's been very enlarged since I was there with the Braves in the 80s, and now seats 65,000. It's a football stadium. And it isn't just that it's a football stadium that makes it bad for the Padres, because it really is a lovely place. But they don't get the concessions of the parking. That's Charger money, because the Chargers got there first.
One is a little bit outside, 2-1. I've never really understood that. You know, it drives teams out of ballparks, sometimes out of cities. That's what's happening with the Twins. Now, if the Twins left, well, the Vikings wouldn't get anything if the building was dark. So why can't the Vikings or the Chargers give the Twins and the Padres the money during the baseball games?
I have an answer for that.
The 2-1. Strike on the outside corner with a fastball, 2-2, and the answer is...
The reason there was that baseball strike lockout, the reason there's the football, or the basketball lockout, greed. One word, greed. Yankee bullpen has started. Ramiro Mendoza is warming up.
Wally Joyner leads off first, and a 2-2 pitch about to be delivered to Steve Finley. And the pitch. Breaking ball swung on the line right at Tino. He fields and steps on the bag. Double play. Boy, Joyner got too far off the bag. No runs, no hits, and nobody left at the end of 5.5. Padres 5, Yankees 2. Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees are trailing 5-2. It'll be Bernie Williams, Chili Davis, and Constantino Martinez against Kevin Brown. Ramiro Mendoza was warming in the Yankee bullpen. He has sat down. Now double-barreled action again in the Padre bullpen. It looks like Hamilton and Langston. A right-hander and a left-hander. Williams is 0 for 2. He grounded to third, and he struck out. And the pitch. Runs the hands up the bunt, takes a pitch low, 1-0.
Aren't you surprised that they have warm-up activity in back of Brown? You figure they would ride that horse as far as they can.
I am surprised. Maybe they see something that they don't like. The 1-0. There's a strike, fastball, and the count 1-1 on the outside part of the plate. You know, one thing that we've seen in this postseason, John, or one thing that we haven't seen, is Bernie batting much from the right side. The Yankees have not faced a lot of lefties, and every relief move has been positioned that he bats left-handed. There's a strike on the inside corner, 1-2.
And when you say they haven't seen it much, once, he's had one at bat right-handed. They've bent over backwards to make sure that Bernie doesn't bat right-handed.
Brown working from the extreme first base side of the rubber. The 1-2, slice foul, third base side into the seats. And the count still 1-2. You know, one thing, John, maybe they want to get Brown out before he piles up the pitch count. Maybe they're thinking about him for 3 starts in this series.
That might be, because Hamilton was to have been the 4th starter.
The 1-2, swung on a nub foul, kicking toward the Yankee dugout, rolls, and finally hits the top step. Still 1-2. Bernie did not have a great numbers World Series in '96, but he did hit a very big home run for the Yankees. He had a great ALCS that year. This year, so far in the postseason, he's 8 for 34. The 1-2, just missed outside. The count 2-2. Brown falls off the mound toward the first base side, and he really puts a lot into every single pitch. And Dave Stewart was quoted saying, you know, the guy does a lot of things wrong mechanically, but he's so strong, and his arm is so resilient. He wants the ball. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 outside corner, and Williams down looking. He threw him a 4-seam fastball on the outside corner, and Bernie looked at it into the glove of Hernandez, 1 away. Here's Chili Davis. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Padres lead the Yankees 5-2 in the first game of the best-of-7 World Series. And the pitch, outside, 1-0. World Series logo here at the stadium, painted on each side of the first base foul side and the third base foul side. Logo is a diamond, a green diamond. World Series in script in white right across. Major League logo up top. And then a banner saying 1998 on the bottom. And you'll see that on hats and t-shirts all around the city over the next couple of weeks. And painted behind home plate in the area behind the plate and the warning track is the interlocking NY. They paint it in white. Place looks great, really does. There's not a seat to be had here at the stadium. The right-handed Brown deals the 1-0 to Davis. Sinker is low and the count 2-0. Dave Stewart, the pitching coach for the Padres, on the phone. The 2-0. Foul back against the facing of the upper deck third base side. He was checking with the bullpen, see if Langston and Hamilton are ready. Then he turned toward Bruce Bochy and he nodded his head. Yes, they are ready. Right now, Langston is throwing softly and Hamilton standing there with his hand on his hip watching the action. So maybe if Brown loses somebody here, he could be out of the ball game. That 2-0 pitch was a fastball right down the middle, and Chile was simply late on the pitch and fouled it back. And the 2-1. Swung and popped up sky high, short left field, backing up Gomez, waving his arms. Now he's called off by Vaughn, and Vaughn makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 down, that'll bring up Chino Martinez.
Vaughn's 2 home runs tonight, Mike, are going to inspire a whole bunch of stories based on the almost trade, which was at the Yankees were in Toronto at the time. And we heard news that Kenny Rogers last year, not this season, but a season ago, had been traded for Greg Vaughn. Then the next day we heard that Vaughn flunked the physical.
It was Kenny Rogers and Mariano Duncan. And Duncan was thrilled to be gone, and Rogers wasn't. And the pitch to Tino, a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. And then it was very strange to see both of the players come back after the trade had been voided. Now, the Yankees felt that Vaughn could someday have a better shoulder and be able to play, but they didn't feel he'd be able to play last year and contribute to them, and that was fairly accurate. Here's the 0-1, just outside with a fastball. The count 1-1.
And anyone could have had Vaughn, who was on the, who was not protected on the expansion list. One of many top-flight players, by the way, who then turned around and had a great year this year.
The 1-1 pitch, swung on and chopped foul right into the Yankee dugout. And the count 1-2. That was Brown's 98th pitch.
So San Diego got lucky because Vaughn had had 2 terrible years in a row because of the bad shoulder. He's coming over from Milwaukee, really being platooned with Ricky Henderson. And this year he had 50 home runs. What a year. And, of course, 2 home runs tonight.
The 1-2. Swung on a missed. He struck him out. Looked like a slider diving down and in. A 1-2-3 inning for Brown. And at the end of 6, it's the Padres 5, the Yankees 2. Carlos Hernandez leads off the top of the 7th inning, and the Padres lead the Yankees 5-2. The pitch by Wells, a breaking ball high, 1-0. 5-7-0 for San Diego, 2-5-0 for the Yankees. Yankee defense straight away. Knobloch perhaps shaded a step or two up the middle. And Tino way off the line at first. The 1-0. Fastball high, 2-0. And they have again taken a seat in the Padre bullpen, and nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen. Brown's at 99 or 100 pitches. The 2-0. Fastball high, 3-0. Wells has made 3 mistakes. A 2-run home run by Vaughn in the 3rd with 2 outs. 2-run home run by Gwynn in the 5th with 2 outs. Then a solo home run by Greg Vaughn following Gwynn's shot. And that's it. Those are the 5 runs. The 3-0 to Hernandez. Swung on a line down the left field line, but foul. Hooks into the seats. And the count 3-1. So we have seen Bruce Bochy turn loose 2 of his hitters on 3-0. One of them was Caminiti, who fouled the ball off, and one was Hernandez, who just fouled the ball off.
Well, Hernandez had 9 homers in the regular season, so I'm sure they're hoping that he would hit the ball hard. He did, but he yanked it foul down the left field line.
3-1 pitch. There's a strike. A check swing by Hernandez, but was called a strike by Rich Garcia, and the count 3-2.
And the 3-1 count got Mendoza up again, so he's thrown in the Yankee bullpen in deep left center.
Mendoza was great in the Yankees' clinching game against the Indians in relief of David Cone. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up short center field. Coming in is Bernie. In left center, he puts it away. Here's Chris Gomez. He's 1 for 2. And the pitch, breaking ball strike, 0-1. The 0-1. Check swing, ground ball slowly toward third. Barehanded by Brocious. He fires across the diamond. Nice stretch by Tino. 2 away. So 2 down. That'll bring up Veras. Veras is 1 for 2. He walked in the 1st, fly to right in the 3rd, and then really started the trouble in the 5th inning. He singled to center field, a bloop single just over the head of Jeter and in front of Bernie, and that was with 2 outs. It seemed simple at the time, very innocent, but it wasn't when Gwynn hit a 2-run home run off the facing of the right field upper deck. And that gave the Padres a 4-2 lead, and then Vaughn's solo shot deep into left field. Well, that made it 5-2. That's where we stand right now on the top of the 7th inning. And the pitch. Veras runs the hands up the bunt, pulls back, takes a curveball low and inside, 1-0.
Graham Lloyd has joined Mendoza in the bullpen.
Brocious about even with the bag at 3rd. The 1-0 is off the glove of Posada, rolls halfway to the backstop, and the count 2-0. Is a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Posada could not handle it, so the count is 2-0.
Yankees have had just 2 quote-unquote rallies against Brown. He's retired every other batter. In the 2nd inning, they scored 2, and in the 5th inning, they had 2nd and 3rd.
2-0. There's a strike. Fastball right down the middle, 2-1.
But O'Neill grounded out with 2 outs.
Graham Lloyd joins Ramiro Mendoza in the Yankee bullpen. Perhaps if Veras gets on, Lloyd would come on to face Gwynn. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and driven deep to right field. Going back, O'Neill on the track in front of the wall, leaps, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. A nice play by O'Neill. It would not have been a home run, but he did save an extra base hit. A 1-2-3 inning for Wells at the end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. Padres 5, Yankees 2. Brocious leads off, and the pitch swung on and grounded to second base. Right there for the big hop Veras. He sets and fires to Wally Joyner. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees trailing 5-2. And that'll bring up Posada. Brocious is now 1 for 3. Posada is 0 for 1 with a walk. Kevin Brown still on the mound. The Yankees have had 50 come from behind wins. That's the most in the American League, but they better hurry up. We gave you that stat about leading after 8 innings. Trevor Hoffman has helped this team to a record of 181-0 since the middle of 1996.
Padres have a right-hander up in their bullpen.
Pitch to Posada is a fastball outside, 1-0.
And I think now that we've gotten out of the 6th inning in the 7th, that probably is Dan Miceli. I would think it is. He has been the right-hand setup man.
1-0. Swung on line drive. Base hit over the leaping try of Veras into right field. Gwynn fields. He'll fire the ball into Veras. And Posada is on with a 1-out single.
Here are the people who've been on base for the Yanks. In the 2nd inning with 1 out, Davis singled, Martinez walked. With 2 out, Posada walked. This fella, Ricky Leday, doubled home. The only 2 runs the Yankees have scored, a line shot down the right field line. Then no one was on base till the 5th, and with 1 out, Leday singled, Knobloch singled, and Jeter hit a soft ground ball to move the runners up, and O'Neill grounded out. Then no one's been on base till now when Posada singled, so that's it.
Hernandez walks about to the lip of the grass in front of home plate to say something to Brown. Now he's back behind the plate. Leday has been great tonight, 2 for 2. 2-run double in the 2nd and a sharp single to right in the 5th. And the pitch. Fastball outside, 1-0. Yankees trail 5-2, bottom of the 7th.
Mike, you know who they never pitch? That's Donnie Wall, not Miceli, but Donnie Wall is up. You know they never pitch Randy Myers. And, boy, they inherited a big contract with Randy Myers.
The 1-0. Inside 2-0. The rumor I'm hearing, John, is Jeff Shaw will probably demand a trade from the Dodgers. Doesn't want to be there.
Right.
And the Dodgers would take Myers if the Padres would take Bonilla off the Dodgers' hands. And since Caminiti will probably leave, maybe they get Bonilla to play third. The 2-0 is a fastball low and away, 3-0. Now that'll get the crowd into it as they go to their feet. Leday looking down at Willie Randolph, the third base coach, see if there's a green light. Jose Cardinal, the first base coach. Brown has thrown 106 pitches. And the pitch outside, way outside. Leday, a perfect night, walks. Posada moves to second, and Knobloch comes on as the tying run. And I don't think he's going to face Brown.
Now here comes Bruce Bochy, and usually when the manager comes out, he brings the hook with him. And he already has made the signal. So right-handed Donnie Wall will come in, replacing Brown, and the Yankees have the tying run coming to the plate. This is New York Yankees baseball. Wall, in 4 innings in the postseason, has given up 5 hits and 4 walks. So the Yankees have their chance, down by 3. Knobloch, the tying run. They have Posada at second and Leday at first, and here is the tall right-handed Donnie Wall against Knobloch.
Donnie Wall, D-O-N-N-E, Wall, W-A-L-L, works from the first base side of the rubber. Knobloch is 1 for 3. Wall sets at the belt, and the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Hernandez, the count 1-0. Now, in the playoffs, opponents against Brown hit 123, John, and the Yankees batting average tonight, not too bad, 250. They did a good job.
Yeah, here's what the numbers on Brown. 6 1/3, to this point 2 runs, obviously responsible for the guys on base. 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Wall threw a breaking ball on the first pitch, right in the dirt.
Posada on second. Leday is on first. 1 out. Yankees trail 5-2, bottom of the 7th. The 1-0. Up and in with a fastball, 2-0.
Langston is warming up, so they have a lefty. Langston would get O'Neill. Right-handed Joey Hamilton is also warming.
Knobloch, an extreme crouch, right-handed batter's box. And the 2-0. Swung on and drilled deep to left. Did he get enough? Vaughn back at the wall. He leaps. See ya! Home run, Chuck Knobloch. And the Yankees have tied the game at 5. Oh, all is forgiven by the New York fans as Knobloch goes deep. A huge 3-run home run. And the stadium's up for grabs.
Knobloch has power. He hit 17 home runs in the regular season. And on the 2-0 pitch, Knobloch was probably sitting fastball. And he had a high fly ball to deep left. Vaughn went back as far as he could. He ran out of room. The ball went a few rows back. So a monumental 3-run home run by Chuck Knobloch. When people say the fans are tough, they're tough if you fail. But boy, if you succeed, Chuck Knobloch can run from there. Sorry, Rudy.
Here is Jeter. He lines one up the middle. A base hit to the left of Gomez into center field. Finley fields and fires it in. And Jeter with a big base hit. That brings up Paul O'Neill. But he will not face Donnie Wall. Bruce Bochy is out of the dugout. He will go to Mark Langston. And we'll go to a break. This is New York Yankees baseball. And the pitch to O'Neill is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Langston has been in the big leagues 15 years, and he finally makes the playoffs here with the Pods.
You wonder if Langston would stay in and Bernie would get a right-handed at bat. He is up next.
Left-hander sets the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Yankees and the Padres are tied at 5. What a game. Game 1 of the World Series. Jeter leads off first, held by Joyner. And the 1-1. Swung on and popped up. Short right field. Coming on Gwynn toward the line. He's there. And he puts it away for the second out of the inning. And it looks like they're going to let Bernie bat right-hand. Are you surprised?
Yes, and he finally gets a right-handed at bat. Jeter, of course, being held on by Langston, the lefty, may not get a good enough break to go, but Yankees want Bernie to swing the bat. This has been a game of big hits. The 2-run double by Leday, the 3-run home run by Knobloch for the 5 Yankee runs.
And the pitch. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 5-5, 5-7-0 Padres, 5-8-0 for the Yankees. Yankees scored 2 in the second, Padres 2 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and the Yankees answer with 3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we are knotted at 5. Caminiti deep at third, close to the line. The 0-1 in the dirt, blocked by Hernandez. Jeter goes for second. Here's the throw on one hop. Jeter safe with a head-first slide. A wild pitch, good base running by Jeter.
That's not a stolen base, a wild pitch, because Jeter didn't go till the ball was in the dirt. And Mike, you know, it's a good move by Jeter. Now a base hit scores him. Now you wonder if they will walk Bernie. Of course, Chili Davis gives great protection because he is a very good right-hand hitter. They do indeed walk Bernie Williams.
Well, there is ball 2. So Bernie will go to first base. That'll put runners on first and second for Davis. And Davis is probably a better hitter from the right side, but he has not seen much action from the right side. Same reason Bernie hasn't. They don't pitch lefties against the Yankees.
I think Chili hits about the same, but this, when Chili finally came back, he had that pull muscle and couldn't swing left-handed.
Yes.
So he had a lot of bats on the right side. So here is Chili against Langston. They know each other well. And here comes Dave Stewart, the pitching coach, to talk to Langston about how they want to pitch Chili Davis. The Padres scored on a 2-run home run by Vaughn in the third, a 2-run home run by Gwynn, and a solo home run by Vaughn in the fifth. Those are their 5. The Yankees 2 in the second on a 2-run bases loaded double by Leday. And here in the 7th, a 3-run home run by Knobloch.
Again, Caminiti is very deep at third, about 8 feet off the line. First and second, great speed on the bases. And the breaking ball is up and away, 1-0. Jeter's at second. Bernie Williams is at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. And the Yankees and the Padres are tied at 5. Game 1 of the World Series. Caminiti almost on the outfield grass, the 1-0. Way outside, the count 2-0.
Well, you know that Chili will have the hit privilege. He has faced Langston a lot over the years.
Runners lead. 2 outs, a 2-0 count on Chili Davis. He steps out. How ironic, John. The Yankees have been trying all year not to have Knobloch hit home runs. Chopped down on the ball. And I think they were pretty pleased with that one.
On a 2-0 pitch, he got an inside fastball. He has a very quick swing. He got around on it.
And the 2-0. Foul back to the screen. 2-1. Now, while we were on commercial, he came out just for a little mini curtain call, waved his hand. Crowd went nuts.
Well, everything has changed for Chuck Knobloch since he made that boo-boo not going after the ball in the second game against Cleveland. He got unilateral support from his manager and all of his teammates, great love and affection, and turned the fans around with his hustle play in Cleveland. Then the Yankees won that series, and now the 3-run game-tying home run.
Jeter leads off second, Bernie Williams off first with 2 outs. The 2-1 to Davis. Swung on and foul back to the screen again. And he keeps reaching out and tapping back the fastball, the count 2-2. Davis tonight 1 for 3. He lined one off the leg of Brown and then came around to score in the second inning. Fly to center and struck out. Langston leans over, gloved hand on the right knee. Hand behind his back. Sets at the letters, the 2-2. In the dirt, blocked by Hernandez. Curveball, breaking ball inside, and the count is full at 3-2. Not that they needed it, but that does certainly release the base runners. And now the crowd rises to its feet.
Well, he threw the curveball 2-2. I would think he would challenge Davis with a fastball. Though Langston doesn't throw. One time, Langston threw as hard as anyone in baseball. I don't think he throws quite that hard anymore.
Veteran left-hander gets the sign from Hernandez. Sets, checks the runner at second. They go, the 3-2 in the dirt. Bases are loaded. So Davis walks, and that'll bring up Chino Martinez with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Well, as they said in that old Rodgers and Hammerstein song, they've gone about as far as they can go. Now the base is loaded. And if Tito succeeds in any way, the Yankees will take the lead here in the 7th. Langston is a classic left-hander with perfect form. He comes over the top. He is not ultra tough for a left-hander because he doesn't throw sidearm. But Tino hits lefties very well. He'll have a good look at Langston.
This could be another cleansing at bat. It was for Knobloch earlier in the inning. And if Tino got a hit here, they would forget about his struggles of the postseason. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He walked and scored a run. 5 for 32 in the postseason. And the pitch from Langston. Breaking ball outside, 1-0.
You can identify the breaking ball. I mean, he's a tough pitcher, but you can identify the breaking ball because it's not sidearm. He comes over the top. That ball started outside. It had a break outside, and Tino took it.
5-5, Yankees and the Padres. Bases loaded with Yankees. The 1-0. Fastball high, 2-0. Hey, Langston's never pitched in a World Series. Maybe he's feeling the pressure.
He might, and Mike here, you know Tino will try to zone a pitch. Langston has to throw a strike. He doesn't throw a strike, it'll be 3-0. Tie game, bases loaded in the 7th.
Lefty against lefty, runners lead. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. Fastball right on the outside corner. A good pitch by Langston, and the count 2-1.
But he may have some World Series nerves, but what a pitch, huh? 2-0, he had to throw a strike, and he did at the knees on the outside corner. That was a great pitch.
Jeter off third, Williams off second, Davis off first, 2 outs. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and popped up foul, third base side out of play over the Padre dugout, and the count 2-2.
And that time, he came all the way in, and he got in Martinez's kitchen, hit him right on the fist. Another very good pitch by Langston.
Tino 6 grand slams in his career, 42 for 129 with the bases loaded. Those are all regular season numbers. This is a different ball game right here. Bases loaded, first game of the World Series, 5-5 game, bottom of the 7th, the 2-2. Just missed inside. Whoa, was that close, and the count is full, and they can start, as John likes to say, the merry-go-round.
It was a fastball, and boy, if it was inside by a tad, it was right at the knees. So they'll all be running. Jeter from third, Bernie from second, Chile from first.
Langston leans in, goes from the stretch, sets. And the 3-2. Swung on a drill deep to right. There it goes. That ball is gone. A grand slam into the upper deck for Tino Martinez. And the Yankees lead 9-5. 7 runs in the 7th inning in the first game of the best-of-7 World Series. Oh, what a home run for Tino Martinez.
Langston had to throw a strike 3-2. He threw a strike, and Tino hit a drive to deep right field for a grand slam. And all of a sudden, Tino's past problems in the playoffs have been forgotten. What a storied 7th inning. A 3-run home run for Knobloch. A grand slam for Tino. And the Yankees take a 4-run, 9-5 lead. One of the great moments of the year.
Here's Brocious. And the pitch is swung on, drilled deep to center field, going back Finley, still back, he makes the play on the warning track for the final out of the inning. And the cheer you heard during the pitch, Martinez took a well-deserved curtain call. Oh, did he pump his fist. Yankees with 7 runs at the end of 7. Yankees 9, the Padres 5.
Tino did take the 2-2, and it may have been a tad low, I guess. The 3-2 pitch was a fastball over the plate. Here's the pitch to Gwynn, strike. And boy, did he hit that. That ball sailed fair by, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 feet into the upper deck. Very reminiscent of the game-tying home run against the Phillies, except there's a lot of more noise because this place is packed. The 0-1. Gwynn takes high. Kevin Brown gave up the first 2 runs. Wall gave up the next 2 runs, and Langston gave up the last 3 runs.
Tino tipped his cap as they were chanting Tino.
And the Yankees scored 7 in the 7th and have a 9-5 lead. What drama. Swung on, hit on the ground, past Tino. A base hit to right field. The great Tony Gwynn is now 3 for 4. So Gwynn, who hasn't been in the World Series since 1984, 15 baseball seasons ago, gets back at the World Series and has a great game as he whistled a shot past Tino for the base hit.
Well, the last grand slam in the World Series, John, came in '92 when Lonnie Smith hit one for the Braves in Game 5.
The pitch, strike to Greg Vaughn. Old friend Brian Boehringer is up in the San Diego bullpen. Vaughn has had quite a game after wrapping into a double play. He has socked 2 homers, good for 3 runs. Gwynn leads and Nelson deals, and the breaking ball's outside. And the count 1-1. I'll tell you one thing, Mike. You know how charged up the Yankee crowd is. You know what a phenomenal year this has been. Well, there's a little icing on the cake, or as Joe would say, this is the cherry on the top of the sundae. What a game. This is how you write the script up. The 1-1. Swung on, broken back ground ball. Nelson goes to second, 1. That's all they get. Nice play by Nelson, who had a look at a flying broken bat and then pick up the baseball. And he made the 1-4 put out to Knobloch. So 1 away. Vaughn at first, and that'll bring up Ken Caminiti, who will turn around and bat left-handed. One on, one out. We're in the top of the 8th. It's been a game of big hits. In recapping the scoring, it's easy because they've all been on very big hits in the game. Nelson deals. Caminiti takes a slider strike, and the count 0-1. Mariano Rivera up in the Yankee bullpen. For San Diego, there are 5 runs, a 2-run home run by Vaughn in the 3rd. In the 5th inning, a 2-run home run by Gwynn and a solo shot by Greg Vaughn. They hit him back-to-back and belly-to-belly. And those are the 5 San Diego runs. Pitched, another slider low, and the count 1-1. For the Yankees in the 2nd inning, Ricky Leday, who has been one of the Yankee heroes, hit a 2-run double with the bases loaded. And the other 7 runs, all in the 7th. Simply put, a 3-run home run by Knobloch, a grand slam by Martinez. The 1-1 is high. Nelson didn't like the call, and the count 2-1. And Caminiti is 0 for 3. He struck out twice and fly to left. Now the pitch is high. And the count 3-1. The Yankees are, Rivera's had a few days off, so they can bring him in for 4 outs or 5 outs, and don't let the four-run rally fool you. The Yankees just scored 7 runs. The Padres can do the same thing. The 3-1, low ball 4. Now they're at 2 on with 1 out, and that'll bring up Jim Leyritz. The Leyritz, a right-hand hitter, comes up. Rivera is throwing in the bullpen and throwing hard. Graham Lloyd is also up. I think this is the last guy Nelson faces, unless he gets double play, and then Rivera would pitch the 9th. They could bring Rivera in simply to get 5 outs. Remember, he hasn't pitched since Tuesday. No, he's strong as a bull. Or they could bring in Lloyd to go after the lefties, Joyner and Finley. 2 on, 1 out. And the pitch to Leyritz is a strike. So Nelson deals. Kind of surprised the Padres aren't bringing up Vanderwall, but maybe if they figure they bring up Vanderwall to get Lloyd, and that would negate Vanderwall. So they leave up Leyritz against Nelson. 2 on, 1 out. The 0-1 swung on and popped foul. First base side out of play, and the count 0-2.
John, if they brought up Vanderwall, Leyritz would tell Bochy, have you ever heard of Mark Wohlers?
I bet he would. I thought of that because Vanderwall was out of the dugout. He hadn't been announced. It'll be an 0-2 to Jimmy. Vaughn off second. Caminiti off first with 1 out in the 8th. The pitch. Struck him out swinging. Breaking ball down and away. So Leyritz strikes out. And with 2 away, now let's see if Torrey goes to either Lloyd or Rivera. Well, here comes Torrey. And he's going to the bullpen. This is New York Yankees baseball. Ollie Joyner against Rivera with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th. The Yankees with a 9-5 lead. Rivera deals, and the pitch high. Rivera has been spotless in the playoffs. I mean, he was great all year. The Yankees barely lost a game when they had a lead after 8. But Rivera has been almost untouchable in the playoffs. 1-0 to the left-hand hitter. And the pitch is a cutter inside. The count 2-0. Let's look at the cumulative stats, Michael. Rivera has been in 7 games, 9 innings, 1 hit.
That's pretty good.
The 2-0 strike. Rivera has been in 9 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. And in the playoffs, baseball is hitting .037 off Rivera. It'll be a 2-1 to Joyner. 2 on, 2 out in the 8th. The pitch swung on and blooped foul third base side out of play. And the count 2-2. And remember, some people this year doubted Rivera, saying he wasn't getting as many strikeouts.
I think he became a better pitcher toward the end of the year, though, John, because he concentrated on working on the cutter, and also all of a sudden he started throwing that slider, which is really nasty, and he became a much nastier pitcher.
He's terrific. It'll be a 2-2, 2 on, 2 out. Rivera deals, swung on and grounded foul at the plate. And Mike can attest to this, because he's only given up 1 hit in the playoffs, but Rivera gives up, oddly, even though he throws hard, the softest hits when they do hit him. It's like they just get a piece of the ball, and he'll give up hits, but you've never seen softer hits. Yankees play the left fielder Leday toward the left field line, figuring Joyner will not pull. The center fielder Bernie Williams is over in left center, and O'Neill is in right center. Yankees with a 9-5 lead on the 3-run Knobloch homer, the grand slam by Martinez, all in the 7th inning. Rivera ready for the 2-2, low, and the count 3-2.
Maybe I'll just have Paul O'Neill interview Tino Martinez tomorrow on the pregame show.
Not a bad idea. Don't forget, you shook hands with Tino. That helped. There's the payoff. Swung on and blooped foul third base side out of play, and the count holds 3-2.
Well, you know how ball players are. I'm sure I'll be shaking his hand tomorrow.
Well, I guarantee you, though, if the Yankees win this game, that it'll be Paulie's place, and it really is not a bad place. He can Give you an idea what was happening on the Yankee bench when they were down and what was going on the Yankee bench after the 2 big home runs.
Well, he's got to have guests tomorrow, though. He's got to bring on Tino and Chuck, I think.
And that'll be a payoff. Rivera deals, swung on and fouled, same spot, third base side. The count holds 3-2. Now the left-hand hitters on deck, Steve Finley. And if Joyner should reach, then the tying run would be in the batter's box. So they ask Rivera tonight to get 4 outs. The final out here, and then the 9th. Time call for a moment as Joyner gets back in. Now the stretch and the 3-2 fouled away. Joyner a tough out, putting the bat on the ball. Measuring the fastball a little bit better every time. Well, once again it'll be a 3-2. Vaughn at second and Caminiti at first. And Rivera is set at the belt. Now Mariano deals. Swung on, hit on the ground a second. Knobloch booted it. And it went into short right field. A run scores. Joyner is safe. And on the error by Knobloch, it's a 9-6 game. And here comes the tying run, Steve Finley. A routine ground ball, and it ran up the arm of Knobloch. And you know, I haven't seen Knobloch do that all year. So E4, the ball took a little hop and ran right up his arm. No RBI, but the important thing is it's 9-6, and here is Finley, the tying run.
You know, you're so right. His errors have been throwing errors. He's been very sure with the glove. If he gets to the ball, he usually catches. He had the glove down, expecting the ball to stay down, but then it hopped up a little bit more than he thought at the last moment. Hit him right on the heel.
Rivera deals. Finley takes low. You know, one more thing I'm going to say about that at bat. You saw the swing by Joyner, and it was like this. He had the shortest weak hack, because he just wanted to make contact. And he hit what was really just a very soft ground ball, but it was booted by Knobloch. The pitch swung on, hit on the ground to Tino. He gloves it, goes to the bag, in time, inning over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. And now at the end of 7.5 innings of play, it's 9-6 Yanks.
The Yankees failed to score in the bottom of the 8th. The Padres came to bat in the top of the 9th against Mariano Rivera, trailing 9-6.
Rivera deals low. Myers, a left-hand hitting catcher out of the Toronto chain, played with a bunch of American League teams, Toronto and the Angels among others. A fastball hitter, and here's a fastball pitcher. The 1-0. There's a fast strike on the outside. Myers in limited play behind Hernandez and Leyritz, hit .246, 4 homers, 20 RBIs. Hit a home run in the series against the Braves. Got power. The 1-1. It's low in the count, 2-1. Left-hand hitting, pinch hitting specialist John Vanderwall is on deck, and then the switch hitter Veras, and then Gwynn. So nothing but lefties facing Rivera in the 9th. Rivera with a 3-run lead. Pitch is fouled away third base side, very late on a fastball. And the count 2-2. I mentioned Rivera, fastball pitcher, and Myers, a fastball hitter. Reminds me of an old story about Steve Bedrosian of the Braves. Rivera is set, and the 2-2. He struck him out swinging, 1 away. This is when Joe Torre was managing the Braves. He brought Bedrosian in. A left-hand hitter came up, and Torre said to Bedrosian, he's a good fastball hitter. And Bedrosian said, but is he a great fastball hitter? And that was a great fastball by Rivera, 1 away. Here is Vanderwall, one of the best pinch hitters in the game. He's a left-handed line drive type hitter. Rivera deals inside, and the count 1-0. Yankees with a 9-6 lead in the 9th, game 1 of the '98 World Series.
96 career pinch hits.
Caught on a miss. High, hard one by Rivera, 1-1.
A .256 hitter. Can you imagine that pinch hitting 375 times? I mean, that's all he's done. 13 home runs and 66 ribbies, all as a pinch hitter.
He's a tremendous pinch hitter.
Wow.
Out of the Montreal organization, but did most of his good work with Colorado. The 1-1. Fouled away late on a fastball. The count 1-2. Now the great crowd rising to their feet. Not just great in numbers, but great in enthusiasm. What a crowd. A marvelous crowd. Well-behaved, noisy, electric, and rooting for their Yanks. It'll be a 1-2. It's fouled away at the plate, and the count holds at 1-2. Rivera came on and got a ground ball, which Knobloch booted for an error. Then another ground ball in the 8th, and started off this inning with a strikeout. He has been virtually untouched in the playoffs. It'll be a 1-2. Rivera is set. And the pitch is grounded foul outside of third. Now, there are guys who throw as hard or maybe harder than Rivera. I think Troy Percival probably does, although I couldn't see the difference. I mean, you know, what's hard is hard. But they don't throw to the great spots Rivera does. Rivera has great control. He throws to great spots.
Most hard throwers do not throw with that pinpoint control that Rivera has. That's what makes him special. And sometimes, John, it hurts them because they don't have to worry about, you know, getting knocked down or anything like that. They could plant themselves firmly and just hack. They usually don't do much with their hacks, but they don't have to worry about being knocked down.
I think that's a very good point. It'll be a 1-2. Percival, you worry a little bit. Vanderwall, lefty hitter. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out swinging. Fastball all the way in, and he choked Vanderwall. 2 straight strikeouts, 2 away, and the Yankees are 1 out away from winning game 1.
That wasn't an easy pitch right there. He really hacked. He had a fastball up and in, swung right through it, and that's against a very good pinch hitter.
Now 2 down, and here's the little second baseman, the switch hitter, Quilvio Veras. Veras has walked, flied out, singled, flied out. The pitch fouled away third base side very late on a fastball. Another fastball right in on the hands. A 7-run 7th, a 3-run Knobloch homer, and a grand slam by Tino has given the Yankees this apparent win. They are 2 strikes away. The 0-1 strike at the knees, and the count 0-2.
That was that cutter. What a different look he gives you now with that cutter. (9-6) Yankees in the night. 2 outs, no one on. It'll be an 0-2. A pop-up off third. Brocious makes the catch in foul territory. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
What was touted as a pitching duel turned to a slugfest with 5 home runs and 15 total runs scored. The thrilling come-from-behind win for the Yankees included redeeming home run blasts off the bats of Chuck Knobloch and Tino Martinez. I'll be back with some closing thoughts in a moment.